onto your butts, storm chasers. Here's the man of the hour, the painter extraordinaire, Thunderhead.
Oof. Lordy Lord. How's everybody doing today? You doing alright? I hope everybody's doing alright. Some people are doing alright. Some people are doing less alright. Man. Ooh, is that all it takes, Coral? All I gotta do is complain a little bit? Thanks, man. Thanks for the sub. 2 months. 2 months. Woof. Is that how long we've been doing this for? Feels like longer. I'm in COG with Colby and Sandra. Say hi. Oh my god, you guys! What's up? How's everybody doing? Down at the Court of Gamers, which is the old... I mean, it's not old. It's my old friendly local game store in San Antonio, which is effectively where I would have been slumming around, skeeving Mountain Dews off of people before I started doing this. And now I do this instead, and I just kind of skeeve Mountain Dews off all y'all. Ooh. Shit's fucking crazy, guys. Just mad. At least we got little toys to distract ourselves, am I right? What the chat on my main screen isn't showing. It's showing down here. That's weird. Been trolling Chaotic Harmony most of the day. That's a good use of your time. Oh, peanut butter M&Ms. Oh, damn, yeah. Ah, also those Arizona teas. Oh, man, I used to drink the shit out of those teas. Where's my background generic music? There it is. There it is. Get going. Occam's laser. What's up, Morgul? What's up, Ponburn? What's up, Verg? What's up, fucking everybody? Commissar Iguana. Roland. Everybody's in here today. Don't you people have places to be? It's the joke. Nobody has any place to be. Why isn't chat connecting here? Let me refresh chat over here and see if I can't. There we go. Oh, now I'm lumped in with everybody. Poor you. Alright. What do we got going on today? Well, we got something a little bit exciting. Rick over at Revelations, whose Kickstarter recently, actually I think during our last stream, went ahead and crossed their goal. I'm trying to pick a little piece of paint off with my fingernail here. They crossed their goal, and the Kickstarter is officially going through. They're working on their stretch goals now. What's up, Pathrier? Good to see you, man. Dark Fox. Colonel Matthew Steiner. Yeah, Revelations. Revelations is going around. It's catching. It's not catching like Corona, but it's catching a little bit, you know? But Rick threw me a couple of the STLs that they're planning for now they're doing an STL release along with that Kickstarter so that people can print and play at home, which I think is just cool as hell. And he sent me some of the files to work with, and I am out of focus. Of course I'm out of focus. I can see my paints, so naturally I'm not focused up here. Oh, Coral with the biddies. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. We gotta have like a thing I do when I get bits, like a dance. Maybe, or I could take off an item of clothing. I don't know. I'll do a lot for 1 penny, apparently. Where is my camera control? Here we go. I look back to my other monitor. Oh, there we go. Alright, shut that. Open that. Open you. And let's focus a little bit here. I have a couple of these Revelations Sierra Warmechs. Let's go ahead and get focused. Chugga. Where are we at? Right about in here, it seems like. Yeah, there we go. Threw a little paint on these guys with an airbrush. I mean,
you could just go ahead
I will.
And absorb that paint on anywhere.
I'm proud.
Trying to get inside the lines or anything.
Where all the goddamn paint winds up. Carla with the cheer. Thank you so much. I'm gonna start taking off clothes. I'm gonna demand a refund. Ooh, that's gonna be how I stop them from coming in right there. So he sent me the files, and I've been fooling around with them. And I think it's important to note that he's doing a lot of work to get this ready for everybody. They had not intended to make the files available for general printing as part of the Kickstarter initially. But, what's my post-zenithal wash made of? It's made out of magic and unicorn tears. I use a lot of Flow-Aid from Liquitex. So, the files are not... They're excellent. The ones that he sent me so far have been pretty excellent. Some of these are a little rough just because, man, I got the files, I threw them together, I threw them in the printer, and we went. So I've got a couple spots here that I didn't get adequately cleaned up because it's just been paint, trying to get something ready for the stream. But this is kind of the good thing about 3D printing your own minis, is I can just throw a bunch of shit down on these and paint them. And if it's not exactly the scheme that I want, or if things don't go right, or if the print's a little funny, like I missed... actually, this one came out nice. Where's the other Sierra? I left a couple islands when I was printing this one, so like his shoulder pad isn't entirely there, and one of his jump jets is a little flattened just because of where I was putting supports. But I mean, this thing cost me a couple of cents, really, you know? I can make myself another one, which I'm really loving. And he sent me... those guys, the Warmechs. He sent me these guys, the Core Republic Infantry. Let's see, get to a place where you can see them. Their detail's crazy. These guys are crazy detailed. They're very fine. They're very spindly. They're a little fragile, but, you know, we're making them work. We're making them work. All the parts don't print perfectly, but again, that's part of what I'm getting at, is we're sort of doing a stress test on the files. Like, we found some problems with the Mars, the Core main battle tank, for instance, but we're putting all these files through the ringer, and by the time the Kickstarter arrives, they should all have been tested and should be ready for at-home printing. I mean, I'm just doing all kinds of crazy shit with them just to see what can be done. So that's fun. That's occupying some time. That's got me started painting some of this 10mm terrain that I got in the Kickstarter from... And this is just one color that's been thrown down on each of these. I haven't even started to do any detailing, but a bunch of 10mm terrain that came with the Cab Kickstarter a while back that I haven't really used for much. I played a couple of games of Cab, but not as many as I might have hoped. But this works beautifully for Revelations if you have some of this terrain sitting around, and that then in turn got me to go ahead and order the Heavy Gear 2-player starter box because it's in the same scale and it will also work. So I'm just like, you know, fuck it. I want to get good use out of my terrain. Am I getting paid for this, or is it just fun? It is entirely fun. It is entirely that I am interested in the Kickstarter, and I gave him some feedback there towards the end of the previous one that didn't include the 3D printed files, and he has been kind of reaching out to me since, and I think it's a good project, you know? I'm a cunt! I'm a cunt! What's up, man? Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Hang on, I'm just trying to get my wet palette a little less, make it a wet palette, a little less of a soaked palette. Times is tough. Can't go to the grocery store. I'm almost out of parchment paper, so I keep cleaning off and reusing the same piece of parchment paper for my wet palette. Yee! What are you gonna do? Got everything else I need, apparently. So, I'm going to be working on some of the... Goddamn, O'Coral, I wish I was getting paid. I'm paying him for the fucking privilege. I mean, I'm not really paying him for the privilege. I just bought into the Kickstarter. Leaf back, good to see ya. Pez Motion, haven't seen you in a little bit, unless you were lurking last time. Yes, 12mm is the scale. Should try printing the Mars tanks in 6mm. Roland, that's on my list of things to stress test the files with. Is I am going to be, first of all, getting them so that they print well, pardon me, at 12mm scale, and then testing them at other scales just to see how they look. One of the things I love about having digital files is, I think, here's a good example of it. This shoulder position for this arm is not technically possible if you've just got the 3D printed parts individually and you're posing them. This is clipping through into the main body. And I love being able to pre-pose minis like this and then do a full-on print. Yeah, I left some real rough spots on this guy. Don't judge the files based on my support connection points. I've just been rushing to get one on stream today. But, you know, we'll print some more Sierras as we go. Some more of the other Warmechs. And besides, I can cover most of that up those little rough spots, I can cover those up with a little bit of battle damage, I think. That should be just fine. That should be just fine. The other thing we're going to be doing today is I would like to get started on... Oh shit, I forgot his name. I forgot the name of the Griffin, the Rampart Company Griffin. I'm going to have to look it up. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and lay some colors down on this guy today and get started highlighting him up. He will be the last battle mech for House Arano's Rampart Company. I apologize for the fairly boring 3D printer stuff today. Up on the camera, you can see it fascinatingly printing these flat, black, round 50mm bases. I have so little black filament left on that roll, I'm just trying to use it up, and I need a number of these bases for Revelations. They have little arc markers on them, little 90-degree arc for the rear. So I'm just running off a bunch of them trying to use up that black filament. I'll probably have to change that a few times today. It won't be the most interesting thing to watch, but, you know, one of the nice things about an FDM printer is that you can just run off bases like that. As many as you need, and when it moist and not dripping, you know, that's what they tell me. We got Stayed Up Too Late finishing Doom Eternal. Oh. I couldn't get into that game. I tried, it's not for me. Doom 2016 felt like it was for me, Doom Eternal does not feel like it's for me. And that's okay. We don't need everything. I got Half-Life Alyx, so I can go pretend to be a mixed-race, post-apocalyptic, 5-foot-tall woman. So, you know, what I usually do in my VR headspace. I gotta fire that up tonight and try it out, though. It looks like a lot of fun. No, it's none of those Griffins. Not a single goddamn one. Vandal Noir, good to see you, man. How are things? No, Project Dark Fox, it is not a dumb shooter. I would never say that it was a dumb shooter. If anything, it is too complex. I don't see, and that almost seems, I don't want to say pejorative, and a lot of people have come back with, well, you just don't like complex or deep shooters, man, and you know what, I'll own that. No, when I'm playing a fucking Doom game, I don't want complex, I don't want particularly deep, I want blasting motherfuckers with shotguns, just constantly, and then occasionally ripping someone's head off and, like, kicking it down some stairs or something like that. And, I mean, I gotta be honest, I don't even use the chainsaw in Doom all that much, but you have to use the chainsaw in Doom Eternal, and maybe the thing that annoys me the most about it, because I see the counter-argument, and I won't harp on this for too long, I'll get right into painting here in a minute, but I see the counter-argument that, but, you know, it's forcing you to use the chainsaw is a part of Doom, the chainsaw goes all the way back to Doom 1, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Obviously the yada yadas and blah blahs are a super fair characterization. One of the things I liked most about Doom 2016 was that there was no reloading of any description whatsoever. You had a gun, and you had ammo, and you put the ammo through the gun and you killed the fucking demons, and it was a good time. The chainsaw is just a reload animation. I mean, really, explain to me, if you will, hey Cat, what's up? What the functional gameplay difference is between a reload animation on your gun and having to chainsaw every minute to 2 minutes in order to have ammo to fire through your gun. Because it, functionally, I fire, oh no, I'm out of ammo, I've got to do a thing, now I've got ammo again. That's a reload animation. I don't want that. Yeah, see, Dark Fox, I think you're absolutely right, too, forcing you to use all your weapons. I don't want that either. I don't want Doom to force me to use all my weapons. I want it to provide me a number of weapons that I can use for a variety of circumstances. I very much want them to provide me with options. I'd like them to provide me with enemies that reward me for diversifying. That's fine. But don't fucking tell me that I have to use all of the weapons you put in the game in every single fight. It's exhausting. It's not fun. That was maybe the thing that disappointed me the most, and without... I mean, I can harp on individual features of the game all I want, but ultimately all that mattered is I started playing it and I did not enjoy myself. So, that's where I'm at on Doom Eternal. I'll probably give it another chance when it goes on sale, which it definitely will. I'm going to go ahead and lay down some some wash real quick on these bases that I have for Palandria and the Thunderbolt, whose name I now can't remember. The last few mechs for Rampart Company don't have that interesting of names. There's Palandria, which I remember. I can't remember the name of the damn Thunderbolt. I just painted it, and its name was something like Kovas. That was it. Kovas. That's the Thunderbolt. I don't know why the other ones have stuck so much better. Maybe it's the fact that I've gone through 12 of them and I'm a little sick of Rampart Company. I guess that's fine. I'm just throwing down some wash on these shaded bases. When in the actual fuck are we playing Star Wars RPG, man? If you're better at scheduling than I am, you feel free to step up and figure that out. I'd love to, though. That sounds like a great time. I do find it fun, but I do agree to it being exhausting. And see, that's it. I'm not going to say it's a bad game. It's obviously a very carefully crafted, intentional experience. That I never got the feeling that it was like lazily put together. They put a lot of work into it. It's just what they made I don't want. You can spend all day lovingly crafting a shit sandwich if that's really what you want to make. I'm not going to eat it. That's an unfair characterization. It's not a shit sandwich. It's a perfectly good-looking game. And like I said, I'll probably come back to it once it goes on sale. I heard that too, Verd. Is the Oregon Reach canon? Yes, I believe it is. House Arano got their own source book from Catalyst Game Labs. What do we got? What do we got? My desires to see you slain by my various minions shaped like space dicks are growing beyond control. What the hell are you smoking, Daylight? What you just streaming? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be like killing goats or something? Good lord. Bear with me for a minute while I kind of pound down this mug of coffee. I need it. It's exhausting just being alive these days, man. What's the old Chinese proverb? Not proverb, almost curse me. You live in interesting times. Well, fuck that. I want to go back to the boring times, man. So, I think I'm going to start by laying down some blocks of color on unnamed Griffin guy. Unnamed because I don't remember. Oh, it's shameful. I'm not even going to look it up. I could pull up the PDF right now. I'm just not going to do it. Arms are tired from slaying so many goats. Definitely a euphemism for constant, violent masturbation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Day-Late Gamer. Cat, are you here? Would you go ahead and give me a shout out for DLG? He's I don't fuck around with a whole lot of variety streams, but DLG, man, he's an entertaining motherfucker. Excuse me, I'm stifling a sneeze. Just a plain old spring allergy sneeze. Hey, go check out the Day-Late Gamer if you haven't yet. He's one of the only variety streamers that I watch, and not only because I happen to know him for a long time, but I've watched a lot of streams since starting this up, and there are a lot of people who do it. And this is not calling anyone out. I'm not naming any names. I'm sure you will agree with this. Well, with you watching them and all, there are a lot of people who just aren't very good at it. They try. They come in. They put in the grind, and they wind up just sounding like me, like a fucking jackass. But DLG, he has a natural flow. He's very entertaining to watch, particularly when he dies constantly. That's my favorite thing. And when he comes up against a boss that damages his ego, and he spends like 3 hours trying to kill them, while the audience is saying, "No, we're bored. Stop doing it." He's like, "No, fuck you. I'm gonna beat it." That's why I watch. That's a Corona sneeze, and you know it. Damn it. He is the only variety streamer on Twitch. I was not familiar with that fact, but if he says it, it's probably true. So I've got a new, I should put on my glove. I've got a new channel up in the Discord right now called, I believe I named it Stream Review. What are you working on right now? That's my question. What are you working on? Doesn't have to be painting a mech. Doesn't even have to be painting models. What are you cross-stitching? Are you painting fucking murals? Are you picking your nose and making booger sculptures? I mean, post it on the stream review. Not the boogers. Don't post boogers. Please don't do that. I mean, I guess you can. Anything kind of goes these days, but I'd prefer it if that wasn't the case. Yeah, he'll pay you double what I'm paying you. That's definitely a good deal that you should go for. Alright, hang on. I gotta pull up a reference image for my color placement real quick. I'm going with the color scheme for this guy that was suggested by Cyber Knight some time ago. And we'll see how it comes together. Images. This guy. Minimize that so that I can see what's going on, and that's a good start. Alright, alright. This is not actually the brush that I want to be using, so I'm glad that I stalled before I started using it. This is among the oldest of the brushes that I own. Let's use you. Only watch jackasses. Well, you know, then me and DLG, we're your boys. Star Wars Legion, Crisis Protocol, and Mechs. I'm planning on getting some Crisis Protocol painting going. I have a whole series, excuse me, of Crisis Protocol minis from a buddy of mine down in Florida that I need to paint for him. And I think I'm going to take one day a week for the stream and have that be painting Crisis Protocol until I get through that set for him. Because I told him I would get it done, and since then I've just kind of sat on it, which isn't very nice of me. Well, this is going on reasonably well, I think. Let me do the whole foot thing. It looks like that's kind of... Well, no, I guess not. I guess I want that part to be white. Let me fix that. I don't want no color here. Steam down for anyone. It was up for me. But then I am special. Really just want to do the bottom part of the foot in this color. And for reference, the paint scheme that I'm laying on is inspired by the Powered GM from Gundam. Ooh, I didn't realize this Griffin's foot was so messed up. I'll have to cover that up with some dirt later. And it looks like his calves get this treatment. Calves and knees. I'm not being anywhere near as like by the time I get to the end of 12 mechs for Rampart Company, all of my usual like care and meticulous planning is just gone. At this point, I'm like, fucking let's finish this fucking mech. Oh my god. But you know, ultimately, I'm thankful to have so much to keep me busy right now, because I don't want to spend too much time sitting around dwelling on my thoughts right now. I'm sure a number of you can sympathize with that position. Oh, you poor frayed brush. You'll live. We're just blocking out broad colors. You'll be okay. I don't want to keep anything from pooling too bad while I'm using this stuff. The pooling is what irritated me on Palandria, and it took a decent amount of work to get to a point where I was happy with the purple. So, you know, trying to learn lessons. Won't necessarily learn any lessons, but trying to learn lessons. That's all we can do. have to lay this on pretty thick and then just come in with some highlights if I want to get that properly vivid red. It's a very orangey red, but it is a red. I'll let this dry a little bit before I come in for a second coat. Did I finish my sentence earlier or did I trail off? I was saying that if you're working on something today, no matter what it is, I would love for you to share it on the Discord in the stream review channel. And here towards the end of the stream, we will take a look at what everybody has been working on. I got some in my eye. I can't just go shoving my finger in there. That's... They say that's a poor idea. Hey, Jammo52. What's up, man? Thanks for the follow. Post pictures of the food on Discord, please do. Gotta eat your milk steak. Got that milk boiling just the way you like it. Get you some of our finest jelly beans on the side. You enjoy your milk steak. Day late. I'll see you later. Yeah, what you gonna buy for Cat? She's pretty fucking demanding, man. I don't know if you know the can of worms you've opened up. By the way, I don't recommend cans of worms. I tried that for one of my first offerings, and she beat me up. Oopsies. This is not, today is not going to be my best painting. It just isn't. This is going to be some of my most distracted painting. But I think we all need a little bit of distraction right now. I know I do. And I gotta say, guys, I am in, personally, on an entirely selfish level, I am in a fantastic position to ride things out just as long as it takes, and I cannot imagine what this is doing to the mindset of people who are not as well insulated as I am, because it's getting to me. Just printer a raven and call it a day. Do we need a food porn channel? I don't know if we need a whole channel for that, but you can feel free to put food porn in the stream review channel. And, probably strongly color what I choose to eat after the stream, because I'm always pretty hungry. I believe it is. I believe it is, Hethrer. I'm gonna have to take you up on that offer you made. Come down there, get your 3D printer set up, and drink a bunch of your booze. It sounds like a fun time to me. I love the post that your wife keeps making with your son, by the way, man. That's keep that shit up. It helps to distract me on a daily basis from more negative thoughts. Alright, so not the hip plates, but yes on essentially the entire torso. Minus the head. And distracted painting is in fact better than no painting. Oh, did he? Got enough scotch to last at least a week. That's good. Somebody mentioned 3D printers and scotch. I mean, that's half the conversations that Hethrir and I have are about 3D printing and scotch. You just wait until we can 3D print scotch, then it's all gonna be over. Or at least, you know, our productivity will be. Chemical 3D printing. That'd be neat. If such a thing were to happen. So the only part I'm going to leave white is going to be the head. The whole rest of the torso, except these lower parts where the vents are, which I'll probably come in and clean up a bit. But all this I want to get started on. God only knows where I'm going to go from here. I think one of these shoulder shields are going to wind up taking on this red-orange. Maybe not both of them, but one of them. The evil honk. What is the evil honk? Is that like a honk from an evil goose? Oh, yes, he is in fact a goose. I gotcha. That's precisely the sort of honk. Le honk. From Untitled Goose Game. That game ate up an embarrassing amount of my free time. I mean, not that embarrassing. I've done way dumber things than that with a lot less reason to do so. It was really a hell of a game, though, for how simple it is. I'm a fan of simple, directed artistic experiences like that, though, and I realize calling a game where you run around as a goose honking at people artistic is maybe a little generous. But it was artful. It's artful in some ways. I'm leaving these 3 spots blank because I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be jump jets. I think, these 3 spots. So, yeah, we're going to paint them differently. I think maybe these 2. Because the Griffin has some pretty decent jump jets on it. What else winds up being red? His arms are almost entirely white, but yeah, at least one of the shields, because the Power GM has a big old red shield. It's on this arm, so I'm thinking this arm shield is getting the full treatment. Of course, Cyber Knight isn't even here right now. Is he? You here, Cyber Knight? I didn't see if you are. Evil Honk, you can ask away. I can't guarantee that I'm always going to be looking at the chat. I should use that banner that Kat made for me. We got a little banner that's supposed to indicate when I'm painting, and I might not see what you're saying. I should use it. But then I'd have to remember to do that. Disappointed there isn't any chrome. Shiny and chrome. You were born to be disappointed, DLG. I think you know that's true. Do you have any idea how hard it is to paint chrome? And yeah, Evil Honk, if you have any questions, feel free to ask him anytime, man. I'm always up to answer whatever. If I miss them because I'm painting, I apologize in advance, but, you know, reiterate them when I'm looking, and I'll be sure to get you an answer. I was born a disappointment. Well, Thunderhead 86 is a bitch. I beat the shit out of that guy not 2 months back. Thunderhead 88 though, he's pretty badass. I don't want to talk shit about him. Speaking of which, Twitch is finally going to let me change my name in like 2 days from Thunderhead 87. I'm not going to tell you what. Because I feel like if I told somebody, someone would run out and register that name ahead of time. I don't know, I get that feeling. Maybe I'm paranoid. Just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean people aren't following me. I should have done my undercarriage color first. I always should do the undercarriage color first, and I forget it. I mean, most of the time. You guys have seen it. It's terrible. Yeah, because I want to do the hands inside the elbows. I guess I could do a little bit. This conversation
gets more about how you feel about something.
Oh, you want to know how I feel?
I have to start charging you 50 C-bills per hour so I can
listen to it. You want to know how I... You don't want to know how I feel right now. How I feel could melt the fucking paint off the walls. Let's see what we got. Yeah, even Paranoid can have enemies. Have I said hi to you yet, Leafback? I try to hit everybody when I see you in chat, but it's good to see you, man. Still very new to mini painting and Warhammer, and I have 4 minis painted. So far that I put a lot of time into. They look great. Now I'm practicing on bigger models like my Storm Fiends. I'm making them more of a learning model. I don't use them very often, but they'll at least I want them to at least be battle ready, or they will at least be battle ready. That's a good sentence. I messed up on the primer with them, and now they look weird, and I have a few questions. Just finished my metallic lead belcher. Days to come, I'm finishing the mini, but I ran into a problem with the metallics. What's up, Amax? Yeah, Amax, like, she's always the one to correct me, because Amax knows what it means to pay attention to the undercarriage. This girl never misses a spot.
Give you that warm, fuzzy feeling. Maybe it's just my allergies.
It is your allergies. Tasselhoff, ahoy, good to see you, man. Tried to thin my paint like I was taught, but it acted weird. I needed 2 layers of it, and it was a bit speckly. Also tried not thinning it, puts on really thick, and you can see the brush strokes. I don't know what to do. Huh, interesting. What primer are you using? What paint are you using? And also, Kat, would you go ahead and plug the Discord for me real quick? Because Evil Honk, I'm going to recommend to you that you pop over into our Discord and you copy-paste what you just wrote. Because it will be easier for me to answer you in text format when I have a chance to look over what your problem is. But I think that's a problem we could probably get fixed for you. And if I don't get you an answer here pretty soon, we have a lot of really talented painters on the Discord, and I'm sure one of them will be able to answer that for you. Also, if you post some pictures of the problem that you're having, usually people can kind of glean the issue a little bit sooner. That said, welcome to the hobby. I'm sure we can get you sorted out. These are problems that everybody has at first. What I miss, Coral? Let me know. Go ahead and repeat it at me. I'm really putting this on, this particular acrylic, I'm putting it on real thick because I want this color to be pretty vibrant, and I'll do most of the shading by hand. If you've seen the powered GM from Gundam, you know it's a hell of a red-orange. Have I printed up the Thunder Skunk yet? Oh, Coral, my printer for the last few days has been jamming on Revelations minis to try to get something ready for today's stream. I know, I always have an excuse. But I just switched vats to my new water washable resin, so I will start your Thunder Skunk mech right after this stream. I'll get it going. It won't take but a few hours. And that'll be a nice change of pace from these paint schemes to start in on Thunder Skunk. For those of you who are not familiar, my audience are a bunch of jackasses who decided that there was a Battletech clan named after the Thunder Skunk, who in reality was just an asshole skunk that I had to deal with for a few days. But I need to go pull up what was written in the Thunder Skunk channel the other day about. I wanted to expand on that writing a little bit because I love the idea that they're like on a Clan Diamond Shark world near one of their factories, and like I can see when the Diamond Sharks were asked about removing the Thunder Skunks from the factory that they had inhabited, they were just like, have you smelled those guys? That's not worth the effort. They can have the fucking factory. We're done. And that's how Thunder Skunk got their primary mech production going. Just by being a nuisance. It seems apropos to me. Clan Thunderskunk in general gets by being more of a pain in the ass to deal with than it's worth. One day they will dominate the galaxy with sheer irritation. No, Coral, I have not yet. Yeah, a few days. What are you doing, Amax? Shouldn't you be, trolling DLG or something? Or modding DLG? I forget which one it is that you do. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Damn you. Playing Destiny. Oh, did he? There was a skunk, not he was a skunk. Fair enough. Well, if every form of dystopian sci-fi was jacked by a colleague in our office to start my own Warhammer 40k career. I know it's Battletech here, actually. Dude, tabletop gaming is tabletop gaming. Couldn't sell this model painting thing to my wife. 5-cent piece of plastic costs. What? Yeah, it's always a little surprising when you start getting into wargaming. I'll tell you though, if you ever take your hobby further and start getting into model production and design and stuff like that, the prices suddenly start making a whole lot of sense. Not all the prices, particularly playing Warhammer 40k, their models are just factually overpriced. It's just true. But they're nice. They're really very high quality models. You have to give them that. You don't have to, but it would be fair to. Oh, I can thank DLG for being afflicted with, blessed with the AMAX. As long as you don't fucking do the fusion dance with Cat and turn into a beast that I cannot handle, then we're fine. Hustled Hustler, thank you so much for the follow, my man. And welcome to the fantastic world of wargaming, and say goodbye to your disposable income. Hextread! What's up, man? Thanks so much for the follow. Thoroughly appreciate each and every person being here today. Like I said, relaxation through superior firepower. I think everybody could stand to relax right now. There isn't a whole lot any of us can do, so we might as well chill. I don't know how this color is going to come out in the end, but, you know, I've committed to it by now, so... Good day. We love you, K-Max. Posted the whole paragraph plus the photos. Excellent. I will take a look at that after the stream, and hopefully we can get you some answers, man, because I guarantee you the answers are out there. That's one nice thing about getting into miniature painting, is any problem you come up against, there's very strong chance many other people have come up against the same problem. And these days, there's a strong chance they've written like a fucking blog post about how to fix it or something. Or they stream and they have a community of talented painters. Right? Right? Who are there to help you out. Alright. This is working. This is working. The evil honk. Thanks for the follow, bro. I want to do this little band here. Of course, it's tricky to get to without hitting the shoulder at all, but no, it's doable. I guess I don't really need to get it any deeper than that. That's what she said. Chaotic's still streaming, right? He said he was going to stream till like midnight or something fucking stupid today. It's his birthday tomorrow. That should be a good time. Can't decide if I want to do the other shoulder in the same orange, red, or not. But for now, here's our basic color blocking for the Griffin. I'm gonna be. I might as well do the coal black right now, and then I can let this set, and I can work on the Sierra for a couple of minutes. Not painting. Okay. A serrated knife can cut through resin, right? Well, I mean, a lot of things can cut through resin. It really depends a lot on the actual piece of resin that you're cutting. I recommend a good, sharp, straight blade a lot of the time for resin for making small cuts. It depends on what you're cutting. If you're looking for advice on cutting something in particular, I strongly recommend pop over to the Discord, jump into one of our work in progress or our advice channels, post a picture, ask your question. I guarantee you somebody will be all over that. We have a confusingly responsive community sometimes. Alright. Back to the coal black. This wouldn't really be a Thunderhead stream if I wasn't mixing coal black with something, would it? Yeah, there you go. Call it a birthday present. It's true, if you really need something that can cut through resin, I mean, we might be able to take care of you. I gotta remember to turn off my clip. Eventually, I'm gonna remember to actually turn off my clips after using them. I need a better system for playing clips. This thing is so, like, I threw it together.
There's something about mech paint jobs that really just brings a tear to my eye. And sometimes a tightness to my pants.
Always.
This stream has a lot of the latter.
Always. Alright, I got some coal black, and I'm gonna throw in... No, I'm not gonna throw in anything. I'm just gonna use coal black. With some Floaid. Was it? Was it? Those are most of the clips that I have.
Yeah! I'll make your mind until you're dead.
I never get tired of that shit. I really don't. Forge World resin. Oh, God. Okay. So, a serrated blade will cut through resin, yes, but particularly Forge World resin... Now, Forge World resin is good resin. As long as you're not using the Games Workshop Citadel resin, the stuff, the fine cast bullshit. Citadel, or not Citadel, I apologize, I'm mixing that up. Forge World is good quality resin in my experience. I strongly recommend that you cut it using a sharp blade and you make small, steady cuts. Serration, because of how brittle resin can be, just the sort of juddering motion of the serrated blade going through it can cause other parts to break off or unexpected things to happen. I would recommend using a straight blade and just going slow and being careful and always cut. I cannot stress this enough. Cut away from yourself. Anytime you're pushing a blade into resin, have the blade moving away from you and your fingers out of the way. I cannot tell you the number of horrific injuries my hands have suffered doing exactly what you're talking about. Now play them all at once. You know what? No. I do a decent amount. I mean, I print in resin, Amax. I don't do casting or molding in resin. I've done some. I have done some, though I mostly did that when I was into like cosplay and prop making. Mostly. Nowadays, though, my resin is all for my 3D printer. What is going on with my left eye? Oh, that hurt. Nothing went in it. It just started twitching. Oh, Lord. Woo! I didn't... What button did I fix? Did I fix something? Did I do something right? I didn't mean to. If anything has changed for the better, I promise you it was not on purpose. It's not the kind of guy that I am. A little bit in here, I think. Not too much. Yeah, a hobby knife should work. Hex, honestly, just... Oh, it finished? I'll have to go start another one. Just take it slow. Always have the blade facing away from yourself, and never have your thumb in front of it. Now, I say this, and I'm going to say it again, because even as someone who does this regularly, and I know all these tips and tricks, I still do it. I still will be cutting something, and I'll be like, oh, if this were to slip right now, I would gouge myself in the fucking jugular. So, just every single time you're doing it, man, go through the checklist, make sure that if your blade would slip, it won't go into you. Because I'm telling you, at some point the blade will slip, and you don't want that to happen. It sucks. Hobby knives are fucking sharp. Or at least they should be. Yeah, by the way, if you're using a dull blade, switch them out. Use a sharper one. It'll help. Been there, done that. Yeah, I know you have. What's up, Kursala? I haven't looked... Okay, I can't remember the name of the damn griffin. I can't remember the name of this griffin, Kursala, and it's a shameful, shameful thing. And I'm going with a color scheme suggested by Cybran Knight, which, if you look up the Powered GM from Mobile Suit Gundam, you will note that it's pretty much just that. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing that paint scheme on this guy. Which is, it's a bold and vibrant paint scheme, but I wanted to get a little bit more red and a little bit more orange. And this is a pretty orange red. I think it's going to contrast well with this coal black. Trying to get the undercarriage taken care of. Yes, I see that the printer is done. I'm going to go over and switch it here in just a minute. I like to do these deep areas. A lot of people won't detail these at all, but I think they actually add a lot to the figure if you can do a couple of bright highlights on them. Not many, just a couple. If you do too many, it ends up looking weird. There's room for a few, just to kind of help differentiate the transition points between, like, the bicep and the lower arm. I guess I want to do the elbow in this color, yeah. It's that whole arm mechanism. And I think I'm going to do a lot of the weapon systems in this color. Certainly both of these medium laser barrels. What's up, Eduguimara? How you doing? Yeah, the green cockpit's gonna look good too. I think so. And ultimately, I've done my big shameful admission for Rampart Company. I put enough effort into the early ones, and I'm pleased enough with enough of the early paint jobs that I could plop this Griffin down looking just straight terrible, and it would still look pretty decent. I feel like, just from the effect of having the other good-looking figures around it. I'll put it in the back, and I won't draw too much attention to it. Alright, that makes sense. Do at least part of this weapon in these colors. I think I'll do this whole barrel shroud with this coal black. I don't need to complicate things too much. And then the fingers. And yes, Kursala, that's good advice. No matter what it is that you're cutting, always cut away from yourself. Remember, hobby knives are fucking sharp. Oh my god. Oh my god. So sharp. You will go straight to the bone before you know what happened. And then it'll take you a few minutes to realize that that sharp, nasty electric jolt you felt go all the way up to your shoulder when you stabbed yourself, that was your bone being struck by a blade. It's horrible. And right now, you don't want to have to go to the hospital. You do not want that. Nobody does. Now's not the time. Hey, glad to hear it, man. It's good to see you. Yes, as described by Barney Stinson. That would be the cheerleader effect. Unless you're committing seppuku. Oh yeah, wood chisels are sharp as shit, man. I mean, if they're properly sharpened and they're going to work, they're really quite sharp. I try not to default to Barney Stinsonisms just because, I mean, as amused as we all were by his character, he was not written as a great person, for the most part. At least in many ways, he was written to be, you know, an asshole. And the only fictional asshole I emulate is Dennis Reynolds, and that's by accident, so that doesn't even really count. Okay, well, I want to do the antennas. Oh, Coral, you missed everything. Yeah, Roland, you're absolutely correct in that one. Like, the whole character is redeemed by the sheer fact that it's played by NPH, and it's like, I mean, I don't know how I could possibly fault him. The man is a godsend of American tradition. Fucking Doogie Howser. I always like that scene in, what is it, Harold and Kumar Go to Guantanamo Bay? When the guy has got him, when the dude, the federal agent, pulls him over, and he's just like, You're NPH. Your work in Starship Troopers is why I became a federal agent. What the fuck? That's just crazy. Oh yeah, you were saying you did an extra roll on SG-1. That's cool as hell, man. I was babbling earlier about the fact that I hadn't watched SG-1 for a long time, but fairly recently I watched the whole thing, and oh man, that's some quality television right there. I don't think I'm missing anything I specifically want to get right now. I think I'm going to leave that white. And I want to let the rest of this acrylic set before I do anything else too crazy. Maybe a little bit more here. And some on the large laser. Because I thread the... Yeah, you did have something to do with that. To be fair, which I, frankly, very rarely am. And yeah, I agree, it didn't take itself too seriously. It was riding that wave of high-quality 90s television that we all enjoyed so much. And, yeah, it didn't want to be like a serious sci-fi show. It just wanted to be a having fun Monster of the Week sci-fi show with some broad story arcs that vaguely linked with that movie where Kurt Russell tried to commit suicide with a nuclear weapon, you know? I always thought it was funny how dark Colonel O'Neill was in the movie compared to how fairly lighthearted he was in the show. And didn't they spell his name differently in the show, too? Like, they had one L instead of two? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the missile launcher in this color, I think. Just the whole thing. That'll break up the color a little bit. Because I've got too much white. I have to do this a few times. This guy's gonna need a few more coats, but I should let these set for now. Unless I want to drive myself crazy waiting. But we got our basic colors blocked out anyway. And yeah, I'll put some green down. You know what I'll do? I'll put a little bit of green down on the cockpit. It's my last step before I let this set. Because we're definitely doing that. I am going to the, not wilderness green, I've been using dragon green. Where's my dragon green at? What'd I do with it? Dragon green from Reaper. Yeah, Roland, I remember. I don't remember what the movie was called. It's called like X-Force or something like that. But yeah, there was the movie, or the show or whatever, that was about the secret government thing, which is just fucking hilarious because they had a show about the show that it is within the show of on the show. Didn't they do the same thing on Hercules at one point? I swear to God they did. A lot of the same showrunners were behind that. Wormhole Extreme, that was it. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Yeah, I didn't think I'd enjoy that show as much as that. Though, to be fair, the place that I was, like, mentally in the 90s, when it... I guess that wasn't the 90s, that was the 2000s, wasn't it? That it was on. The level of appreciation that I had at that point, and the place that I was creatively, I would not have enjoyed the show as much as I did watching it recently. So I'm glad that I waited, if I'm being honest. You know how tastes change. The things that I like today are not the things that I would have liked 10, 15 years ago. It's just true of everybody, I think. If your tastes truly haven't changed in like 10, 15 years, I don't want to say there's something wrong with you. Maybe there's something right with you and wrong with everybody else, but I will say that that is strange. Most people's tastes shift. Not necessarily for the better, just different. And now I get what it was that SG-1 was bringing to the table. That green does look good. You can't see it as well as I can on the camera, I don't think, from what I'm seeing, but it really does actually look pretty nice. I think that green just sold me on the paint job. Not that I wasn't going to go through with it before, but I was a little, I don't know about this, I don't know you guys, it might not look great. But it's coming together. So, if you weren't here before, if you're just arriving, or if you've been hanging out for a few minutes and missed what I said earlier, we now on the Discord have a channel called Stream Review, where towards the end of the stream, I will pull up the channel, and I'll go through any pictures that you feel like posting there. Not any pictures you feel like posting there, I swear to God, if I go in there and there's... I'm not gonna give you any ideas, never mind. Just what you're working on artistically today. Are you painting something? Are you stitching something? Are you... what are you doing? Are you making some cool food? Are you just hanging out outside and you got a great view and you want to share it? Post it up. We'll take a look. We'll talk about it. It'll be fun. We gotta find new ways to connect right now. Because, if people are smart, we'll all be inside for a little while, you know? Unfortunately, people are not smart. But this is not a subject that I'm gonna get into today. I don't think I need to, you know? I don't think that any of you out there would benefit from me harping on the fact that human beings are fucking stupid. I don't think I would benefit from that. So let's just not do it. Let's just know it communally as a body. And agree not to let it get us too down right now. No matter how much we may want to scream at people. Yeah, it did drive really quite nicely. Herc and Xena both had TV show episodes. That's what I thought. I vaguely remember that, but it's been a long time since I've watched either of those. Yeah, photography, digital art, anything's welcome, honestly. Yeah, X-Files, Lone Gun... How many episodes did Lone Gunman get? I don't remember it having that much. I kind of didn't go anywhere. I loved the X-Files when it was on, you guys. Ah, that cold coffee really just strips the enamel right off the teeth, doesn't it? Nom, 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 nom. No dick pics. No dick pics. If you have pictures of a sentient pickle, I would encourage you to post that. I'll let you know that I will be forwarding any pictures of sentient pickles to the appropriate scientific communities, because it really seems like that's the sort of thing that somebody should be studying. If such a thing exists. Forgive me for a moment, I'm cleaning one of my brushes off. Got a sprout for you, cat. What does that even mean? Oh, a sprout. Oh, that makes more sense. Wait, if that's a euphemism, shame on you. If you literally have a sprout, then you can post that. Toblaki, good morning to you. Where are you that it's morning right now? It's definitely not morning where I am. Papa Bear, good to see you. Did I miss you in chat earlier, Papa Bear? I'm sorry if I did. Welcome, welcome. Western Australia, so yes, it is. It is, in fact, morning. Well, like, I'm tempted to just go right to the usual, oh, he's Australian, I'm gonna say, g'day, mate, oh, a dingo ate your baby, but I can't do an Australian accent, and I don't feel like I'm an asshole, but I'm not that big an asshole. So I'm just gonna say, hey man, what's up? It's good to see you. Alright, I am going to let him set. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to think about how I want to approach this. So, all I've done on this Revelations Sierra Warmech so far has been to lay down some airbrushed colors and a little purple stripe, which I'm glad I did this really, really fast, which taught me a few things about how I want to do it for next time, because it's not quite how I wanted it to be. I want to have a little bit more gradient. I'm going to have to add that in by hand, but that's alright. That's alright. We'll live. Plot twist, I'm not an Aussie. I don't think you're allowed to live in Australia if you're not an Aussie. I don't think that that's permitted. Of course, I don't know, and I'm basing that on literally no information, so it's entirely possible, in fact likely, that I'm not only mistaken, but idiotically so. Well, thanks for coming in, Toblaki. We're starting to get the international audience. You know, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen eventually. That we would eventually get huge, get Australian fans, and that's off from there. Let me ask you something, Toblaki. Have you seen the show Danger 5? Because nobody in America fucking has. And, I mean, you might not have. I'm not saying because you live in Australia you watch all Australian television, but you're more likely to have seen it than most of the people I know, you know? I knew I liked you for a reason, Colonel Matthew Steiner. And roll. That's fantastic. I love that so much of my audience is familiar with the glorious, glorious show that is Danger 5. Was Danger 5. I don't think they're making it anymore. I'm pretty sure the little crew that was working on it have moved on to other things at this point. They did 2 seasons of Danger 5, and it was fucking amazing. Hang on, I'm going to lay down a little bit more wash on these bases here. I've gotten that too, Matt. Even Kat looked at me funny. I shared with her the first episode, the one where the Nazis steal the Eiffel Tower, and it's like she gave me the digital equivalent of a blank stare. Well, Toblaki, you need to get more familiar with your own culture. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I don't mean that. There's a show, though, that came out of Australia a couple years back called Danger 5 that was fucking hilarious. Yes, that's what that was, Kat. It is one of the finest things ever to grace any television anywhere under any circumstances ever. I'm glad I'm not the only person, Colonel Matthew Steiner, because, like, I get looked at funny for how I talk about that show. Like, it's the dumbest fucking jokes, but I'm like, seriously, to do jokes like this, you have to have... And I realize I wind up sounding like one of those, like, douchebag Rick and Morty fans, or, like, to be fair, you have to have a pretty high IQ to understand this level of potty humor. But it's actually really quite clever. Like, most of their jokes have a basis in some level of historic truth. They're all sort of like plays on actual history and on pop culture. And, it sounds weird to say that a show with a talking dog, a talking German dog, a talking Nazi German dog might go above some people's heads, but I feel like maybe it did. Maybe it did. It's a good show. I want to say I'm sad that it's gone because I don't feel like they wanted to make any more of it. They might have. I don't know how well they really did. I know that I still can't buy it on fucking DVD because they only sell it in the Australian coded DVDs, which is bullshit. Oh yeah, every time somebody dies in that show, they give Pierre a perfect drink recipe for some damn drink. Perfect Chinese whisper. And I liked how in season 2, Pierre was just black. Like, there was no addressing the fact that the actor changed completely or that his skin color was totally different. He was just black. And he was still famous Pierre, and that's just how it was. Have I seen the Aggro Kids show outtakes? I don't believe that I have, Toblaki. I am not familiar with that. Roland, I have seen some of Letterkenny. Everybody talks about Letterkenny. And I need to watch more of it, I think, because I don't quite get it yet. Like, it's funny, but I don't feel that, oh my god, I've got to watch another episode impulse that I get from shows that I really enjoy. And I think maybe it is that I really just need to watch more of it. So I'm going to do kind of my usual undercarriage treatment on this guy. Oh, that sounded bad. Ugh. I might as well get started on it, though, mixing a little black into my coal black to get it just where I want it to be. Oh, my eye again. Okay, this is like the third time. Oh, my left eye has just twitched really hard and it hurts. What the hell is that? My mother learned how to use Skype. Oh, God. I mean, maybe that's a good thing, but from my own personal perspective, I'm going to go with oh, God. Hang on. Just a second. Use my eyelashes as a natural brush. I don't know what the hell's going on with my eyeball, you guys. Now, there's nothing in my eye, Pondburn. I checked. I have, like, it's a muscular twitch or something. It just happens periodically, and it's been driving me fucking crazy. I still don't think there's anything in my eye. I checked a couple of times and didn't see anything. Self-care is more important than the stream. That's bullshit. The stream is all that matters! It's developing its own sentience. Like that fucking... What was that movie where Mark Hamill had like an evil murderer eyeball put in his skull? Or it was an anthology or something. Might have been an Outer Limits episode, no, I can't remember. I do not currently have a headache, no. Alright. So I'm going to dig into some of these Revelations minis, you guys. They really are nice sculpts and remarkably posable. This is a solid piece, but it comes effectively in... I mean, you got leg, pelvis, torso, arm, so it's a real simple assembly, but there's still a lot of pose options you can get out of it. Just using digital posing, I got these two poses real quick. I got one guy that's kind of charging ahead, and I don't know if he's punching or blocking bullets with that arm. I don't know. He's doing one of the two, and then by mirroring the legs, I get a slightly different pose, and this dude is kind of just walking forward, laying down some fire with that big old machine gun. They're really nice minis, and I like the design that he's given them. It's real easy when going for this sort of aesthetic to wind up with just generic-looking mechs. And I think that these kind of have their own style to them. I mean, they do have their own style to them, but I like that style, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's nice to be painting something slightly larger than 6mm scale, too. Slightly. It's only 12mm scale, so still not very big. I'm going to be trying to paint some of this infantry here before long, too, and these guys are, oh man, they're small. Look at these little dudes. It's hard to show I'll have to adjust the focus to show all the detail on these infantry models, but they're shockingly detailed for being 12mm. These aren't perfect prints either. These were kind of like first try flubs, so not everything came out perfect. But with a little bit of work and the proper supports, they actually print really nicely. But they have kind of like a space Roman aesthetic to them, like they have little crests on their helmets, and they've got these big Pavese-style shields, you know? They'll be fun to work with. Have I printed any, rather, at 6mm yet? I have not. I have been just trying to get through the basic prints at 12mm, but that is coming next, Kursala. After I get O'Coral's mech printed, that is. And build an arm for Vergaderung's mech, and, oh god, there's so much to do. Oh my god. There are worse things than being too busy, let me tell you what. Trying to paint 3-core Centurion. The Centurions are the power armor, are they not? I haven't printed any of those yet. But yes, Colonel Matthew Steiner also, he was sent some of the production run of Revelations miniatures. So if you're interested in the Kickstarter at all, you're interested in taking a look at the minis, kind of getting a look at them before you commit to anything, check out Colonel Matt Steiner. Kat, would you give Colonel Matt Steiner a shout out for me? I'd really appreciate it. He also has been working up to doing a painting stream, and he should have some revelations, should he get that going pretty soon. We've got a lot of mech painters who are kind of up and coming, and you should check them all out. I don't think the other Steiner is in here right now, Steiner Miniatures, but he's also been painting some Revelations. Revelations is just all over the place right now. But that's good. It's a good-looking game, and I think it deserves more attention. Cameras arrive Thursday. Well, there you go. Said they're building to 10 factions.
You could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
Glorbing is literally my style. That's all I even do. Glorb, glorb, glorb. So, I'm determined, even though, like, okay, this guy's given me access to these models so that I can kind of show them off and we can stress test them and I can get some painted and boost the signal. But I just want to tell you guys right now, if I have something that I want to be critical of on these figures, I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm not going to bullshit you guys under any circumstances. My criticisms are always going to be honest, and I do have some. I do have some. That 10 faction thing it concerns me a little bit. And I'll tell you why. I'm not like a lifelong, super experienced playtester for war games. I have been a part of several of the official playtests for Fantasy Flight games, and I play war games extensively. I find their rules fascinating. It is, in fact, one of my dreams to eventually launch a game of my own. I have concepts for it. I know generally what I want to do with it, but you know, it's a lot of work. It's a huge amount of work. And when you're designing things like that, it's real easy to let your eyes get bigger than your stomach, you know? And 10 factions to me says maybe our eyes are a little bit bigger than our stomach. Because 10 factions is a lot of factions. Huge amount. Now, I don't know what kind of timeline it is he's planning on before he gets all 10 actually released. Maybe 10 factions is like a, you know, if we go for 10 years kind of a thing. But even then, damn. It would be my preference if, you know, my preference is being made known, which I guess is the point here, for them to focus in on, say, 4, maybe 5 factions, and really put a lot of work into balancing them. Yes, Roland, Battletech has 57, and Battletech is the opposite of balanced. I don't even think anyone would pretend that Battletech is a balanced game. The very notion is absurd. Battletech is like it's a random bullshit simulator. It's a fun one, but it's the opposite of a balanced game. And Rick has stated that he wants to make a balanced experience, a gaming experience where you feel like your list building choices matter, where you feel like, you know, you're not shoehorned into using one particular unit or even type of unit because it's just so good. And spreading your intellectual resources across 10 factions and trying to balance it is a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. Or if not disaster, at least trouble. So I'm not going to say that he can't do it, because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's got some fucking amazing ideas that just haven't occurred to me. That's entirely possible. I will say, though, that it's one of the things that pops up to me as kind of like maybe not that. Mighty Jose 212, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow, man. But, you know, we'll wait and see. Obviously, I don't know what he has planned. I don't really have an inside scoop on Revelations. I just like the minis, and I'm glad that the campaign is succeeding. So we'll see. And of course, that's all down the line anyway. Like, before we can ruin the balance with 10 factions, he's got to get to the end of this Kickstarter. So I'm already putting the cart before the horse. But what he has so far is very impressive, and the rule system that he's developed is actually very interesting. If you played Star Wars Legion, you'll recognize some elements from that. There are a few games he definitely borrows from, but that's a good idea. The best games out there borrow from one another anyway. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You poor brush. You're abused, and yet I still use you. Heavy Gear started with 9, and Heavy Gear is... Well, I don't want to comment too much on the balance of Heavy Gear, but it's not the most popular game system out there, you know? Again, I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying that it is categorically the worst idea ever. I'm saying that it is risky to focus on that much right out of the gate. But it sounds like he plans to develop them slowly. So as long as the first few factions that come out are balanced, which so far they appear to be asymmetrically balanced in a really cool way, you know, that's maybe a decision he'll arrive at on his own. I just try to give honest critique where I can, you know? It doesn't do anybody any good if I'm just so excited to have access to models that I'm not willing to give honest negative opinions. I don't think that helps anyone. It doesn't help him, it doesn't help me, it doesn't help you deciding whether to get into a system or not. I think the system's absolutely worth getting into. Speaking of which, I ordered the Heavy Gear starter box, so that should be interesting. And that's true, Morgul. Battletech factions are not differentiated rules-wise. Following for gift subs. Well, if that's true, then I'm disappointed following. Regardless, thank you so much for the follow. I hope that you follow for more than just the gift subs. But, you know, Revelations is new, so we'll see where it goes. The fact that the Kickstarter has been successful tells me we'll get to see at least part of where it goes, and that's, you know, that's the first step and the hardest to get over. Convincing people that your idea is worth any money in the first place. My god, wargamers are hard to win over. I mean, listen to me. I'm like, this game is amazing! Let me talk some shit about it! Nobody hates things quite like the fans of those things. Do I want to do the calf in my undercarriage color? I'm kind of thinking maybe I do. Might be a bit much, though. I think I might just break the colors up a little bit. You are not wrong, Lord Hethrier, but that's part of the reason that I'm really, really into... Hey, what's up, Flavolicious? Good to see you, man. But one of the reasons that I'm really, really into... and yes, Mr. Twiddlecups, you're right. You can get into Revelations for fairly cheap, and you can get into it just getting physical product and not having to 3D print your own shit, which I think it's cool that he's doing both. But one of the reasons that I think Revelations is so interesting, Hethrier, is that he has made available as part of the Kickstarter 3D printing files. So if you want to get into the game and just print your own stuff, you can do that. Nobody that I know of has done that yet. It's risky. I think everybody can see the risks that come right along with it. But if it works, if people support it, it could be the next big thing. It's the thing where I look at it and I think to myself, there's a business model in all this, based around 3D printing and wargaming, that is going to succeed at some point. Somewhere is the next big business model that someone's going to land on, and it's going to make them fucking rich and change wargaming. I don't know what it is. I know that nobody's going to find it if they don't look for it. And, Rick Graham over at Revelations has started looking for it. He has cast his die, and I intend to support that. I'm a real DIY guy most of the time, though. And I mean, even if you're not into it for the 3D printing, the fact that it's all manufactured domestically in the US, I like that. I do. There are not enough war games that even treat that as a priority. Yeah, I agree. Aren't I upgrading my Ender 3 soon? Soon might be a little strong. When I am able to would be accurate. I want an Ender 5 Plus. I can't afford one. We'll see how that goes. Oh, you were asking, Mr. Twiddlecups. I'm sorry, you were saying, can you still get into Revelations for like $50? I think it's $60 to start the 3D printing tiers. And I think, yeah, there's at least one, like, basic tier that's $50 or $60. Oh, thank you so much, Okoro, much appreciated. That will get you one of the basic starters. I think $80 will get you both of the current faction starters. I'm thinking about doing this inner thigh and this reverse jointed leg piece in the undercarriage color and leaving those gray white. I think that'll differentiate things nicely. This is my test figure, and this is one of the reasons that I love that he's doing the digital distribution with STLs, because ultimately, if I screw this model up, you know what I'll do? I'll go start another one printing. And I'll paint that one in a way that isn't stupid. But the legs seem like a lot of moving parts. I feel like they would be mostly unpainted. At least for these constantly moving lower bits. Then with some white-gray armor plates on top of it. And I'll keep these white to kind of break that up a little bit. Color am I using for the undercarriage? This is my fairly standard issue paint mix that I do, which is P3 coal black with just a touch of regular matte black mixed in. Just to darken it some and make it more of a blue-gray rather than quite as blue as it is naturally. It's a good color to do sort of greasy metal in, oily metal in. I find I can do some highlights on it, then give it a black wash, and it all kind of equals out. That's all fine. Maybe a little bit here for the arm connection and the armpit. Got the antenna. Did the nozzles for the jump jets. Oh, I want to do this part. And it was extra convenient that I just happened to have a bunch of terrain that's actually pretty decently scaled to this from the Cav Kickstarter. It's 10mm scale, this is 12mm scale. The functional difference is pretty much negligible. Man-sized objects look perfectly fine. One of the things I also like about Revelations is the I don't want to say rebalancing, because obviously it's new, it's not actually based on any pre-existing game system, but the balance of the various weapon systems, specifically missiles. First of all, this missile has no reload capacity, and if you look at it, you can see it. Like, I don't know where the hell another missile would come from in a launcher like this. It has 5 missiles in it. And on the stat sheet for the Sierra Warmech, you have 5 missiles, and you can fire 5 times. And they're powerful. They do a lot of damage if they hit, which conforms with how missiles are in real life for the most part. Reloading launchers, small launchers like this, is not all that viable for the most part. I don't even know where the hell you would store the ammo. Obviously large multiple launch rocket systems get reloaded, but those are huge systems. And missiles are powerful. You don't take that much explosives and strap an engine to them for just a little poof. For a little, oh, I dealt 1 damage. A little poof, a little... That's fucking crazy. I realize 1 damage in Battletech represents quite an explosion, relatively speaking. But even so, they just always... I don't want to say always. I'm not sitting around going like, damn missiles in Battletech, they're lame. That's not a thing. I just like that he's done something different with it. And I'm looking forward to stretching the legs. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys Palandria again, by the way. Screwed up model, time for a wreckage token. You're not wrong. Yeah, take a look at it, Twiddlecups. I think you'll like it. And if you have any questions at all, honestly, if you guys have any questions about the Revelations miniatures, not as much the lore or the rules, but if you have questions about the miniatures, feel free to ask them, and I'll see if I can't get you an answer. I need to do a little bit of touch-up on them, but I came in and did a weathering pass on Palandria, gave him some big, nasty rusted spots, cleaned up his cockpit glass a little bit. I think he's looking pretty good. All in all, I'm pleased with how he came out. We're going to get him based here shortly. That's what these 2 bases I'm doing are for Kovas and Palandria. So I'm going to do some work on these here in a minute. I'm going to start doing a little bit of edge highlighting on this Sierra that I'm working on. And I'm going to try starting starting with Wolf Gray, which is real light, but I think that's what I want to do with the gradient that I've already laid down. I think this is the color I want. We'll find out pretty soon. We'll find out pretty quick if I made a mistake. Awoo Gray! Hey, that mech looks familiar. What's up, Revelations? How you doing? We've been talking about you. What? I just spotted one more spot that I want to put that undercarriage color in this guy to break up these big, dag, nasty toes of his. Right here. The central foot. Now, a lot of these feet, like, okay, so I'm planning on basing these guys, specifically I've got a little bit of a backstory written up, just to kind of guide my hand as I paint these guys. What did I say? I said that they were the Core Republic has a little bit of a Roman aesthetic to it. And I always thought that the Roman auxiliaries from the late Empire were really interesting, mostly in how they were regarded by the Roman public at large. Previously, the legions had been almost exclusively actual Romans, and as after the reorganization of the legions, they gathered together auxiliaries from the recently conquered provinces, and armed them and trained them, and generally moved them away from their home countries to encourage the broadening of the imperial mindset. But they were regarded as like savage troopers under the command of the Caesar by a lot of the at-home Romans. They were people who were uncomfortable with the idea that they weren't being defended by Romans anymore, but by the savages that the Romans had conquered. So I'm going with, what did I call them? The third Thraken Auxiliary, with the notion that in the Revelations universe there was the Core Republic, and it was essentially Space Rome. I know that's an oversimplification, Revelations. You're just going to have to bear with me on that. That's what we do in wargames. We oversimplify, and we are reductive. But sort of playing on the Roman theme, and the fact that the Space Roman Empire has essentially fallen to a war against synthetics, I went with the idea that this planet is particularly harsh. This planet has giant badgers on it. Giant, terrible, evil badgers. Now, that sounds funny. Just saying the words, oh, it's got giant badgers, tee-hee. It's so funny. But if you think for a moment about what a badger is, and what it would be like if there was a fucking giant one that wanted to kill you, you realize how horrifying this planet would be. They're a low-tech world with a large population, and they are incredibly harsh. Vaguely reminiscent of the catechins from 40k lore, you know? And even amongst the fairly humorless and harsh Core Republic troopers, the Thrakens are considered humorless and harsh. They're the guys that the Core Republic calls in when they got some dirty work that needs doing, that nobody else wants to do, and the rest of the Core troopers are like, oh, don't fuck with those guys, like, just leave them alone. For God's sake, they fight giant badgers, just to make it to adulthood. And then we give them laser repeaters and shields and Warmechs, so you can imagine what these guys are like. Since there are no friendly or desirable mammals on their home planet, they also have a really unfortunate habit of gathering together and executing the household pets of most planets that they invade, which, as you might imagine, doesn't make them very popular. But if they were here to win a popularity contest, they, well, they're not. They're not here to win a popularity contest. So they're a harsh bunch of bastards, effectively. I need to thin this just a little bit. Does it also have a snake and a mushroom problem? Only a couple of mushrooms and one snake. It's a real loose story that I'm using just to kind of guide my color choices and some of my basing options. Maybe we'll develop it as we go. No, specifically not skunks. We're already doing skunks. I didn't want to rip off Clan Thunderskunk too bad. Yes, Matt Steiner, you figured it out. Yes, it was Bonburn. And one of the other things I think is really interesting about the auxiliaries is that, for however they were regarded, for a time, they actually composed, I think it's 3/5 of the active Roman military. I thinned that just slightly too much. You posted the dragon you're working on right now. Awesome, we'll take a look at it here in a bit. I dug into a couple of the other, admittedly mostly Wikipedia entries on not just Thracian, but other auxiliaries. And I've got some ideas for some unit names and stuff. I don't want to dump it all on you guys now, because it's not all that interesting, but as I work through these models here on the stream, we'll kind of go over, you know, my thinking on what the units are named and how they're organized and such, because I like doing nerdy shit like that for my wargame figures. Go a little heavier on my highlights because I'm gonna blackwash this when I'm done, I think. Just a real low surface tension blackwash, nothing too glazy. I want them to be this sort of real pale gray. The bases, I'm thinking I'm gonna go for like a Martian red, like a real harsh red, sandy base with like some yellow grass, and then do a lot of red dust up the legs. You know, I think that's gonna look cool. Yeah, it makes it more fun to have a little story. And I mean, you personally have put so damn much effort into writing a story for the universe. The least I can do is play around with it a little bit, you know? So far, though, this Sierra is a nice mini, easy to paint, good panel lines. It's got greeblies, but it doesn't have too many greeblies. There's such a thing as too many greeblies on mechs. It's one of my criticisms of some of the latest sculpts that they've released for the Battletech Kickstarter. You know, I've got plenty of criticisms for that. Not that anybody gives a shit what I think about them. But they over-greeble a bit sometimes. Particularly on wargame figures where you want to have room where there aren't any greeblies, because you usually want to put down decals. Well,
look, if this conversation gets more about how you feel about something,
it's how I feel about wargames, though.
Charging you 50 C-bills per hour so I can listen to it.
What are you here to hear about, besides what I feel about wargames, I ask you? Let's see, here. Not the cleanest lines ever, but they'll do. Now, this is a game where I'm going to need to paint a good number of figures for a functional force.
Cat girls that give me that warm, fuzzy feeling. Or maybe it's just my allergies.
Chaotic in his fucking lines, jeez. I'm going to get a couple more from him. I'm going to get a couple more ridiculous things to have spammed in chat constantly. That'll really brighten things up around here. Oh, that's a little rough. That's okay. I think he'll survive. Don't leave the stream, anyone. If you do, channel show is offline and the vid won't. Was that true? Ugh. Wait, what word am I mispronouncing? I haven't said Greaves. To my knowledge, I haven't said the word Greaves at all. General Grievous? Oh, Cat bullies everybody. Cat bullies me. You may not know this is actually Cat's stream. And she bullied me into doing it. She rakes in, like, when you guys make donations and bits and stuff, like, I thank you, but it's mostly out of fear of her. And then she makes them wire them over to her account. No. That's silly. I'm pretty shaky-handed today. This is not my finest work, but it also doesn't have to be, because these models are 3D printed, and I can 3D print more, which makes me so happy. Sorry, I get a little blurry there on you. Am I out of focus right here? Let me adjust my focus slightly, because this is kind of where I'm living right now. There we go. That's better. What's up, Vox? How you doing, man? Oh, Greebles. I was saying Greeblies, not Greaves. Oh, there goes my eye again. You see what I mean? Nothing's in my eye. It just... Oh, God. Yes, Greeblies would be the word that you're thinking of. And that word was coined by, I want to say, Industrial Light and Magic? If you go watch Star Wars, and you go to any of the shots where they, like, pan over a starship, and you look at all the little bits and bobs, the little bits of bullshit that are all over the hull, like on the Millennium Falcon, or on a Star Destroyer, or what have you, those little bits and bobs and nonsense are called Greeblies. Yeah, oh, Coral, I don't know how you would even go about doing that. Greeble. Ha ha ha. We make it the Star Destroyer, we call it the Greeble. That wasn't even a French accent. I don't know what the fuck that was. I can't do accents, you guys. I can barely do an American accent. Some of these edge highlights might be a bit extreme, but like I said, I'll give it a wash later, and I think that'll ease some of them out a little bit. Damn it. Come on now. There we go. But yes, I was using the phrase Greeblies, which you should familiarize yourself with that phrase. It's an important phrase in prop making and model design. And general coolitude. If you want to be cool, you gotta know how the Greeblies work. English and batting. Look, lady, I only speak 2 languages, English and bad English. Get this line as centered as I'd like, but it doesn't really matter. What's everybody watching right now? What shows are on? I think I asked last time, but I can't remember if anybody's watching anything interesting. We talked a little bit about Stargate SG-1 earlier, which is, you know, always a fun topic. That show was entertaining as hell. I think they just wrapped up this season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which kind of sucks. Now I get to cancel HBO again. I mean, that doesn't suck. I'm not going to spend money on HBO when I don't want it. But they've kept me going since Watchmen. You know, it's only now that they're starting to lose me. Picard, Clone Wars, and chaining SG-1 as you do work. Admit it, you're just watching SG-1. You're not working. That'd be ridiculous. New season of Clone Wars started, hasn't it? I haven't watched any of it yet, so don't spoil anything because I do care. I don't feel great about this whole Ahsoka is going to be live action played by Rosario Dawson thing. I know this is probably a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I don't feel great about that, you guys. I really don't. It's not that I don't like Rosario Dawson. I do. And who doesn't like Rosario Dawson? Probably somebody. But I don't like them taking characters who are like legacy animated characters and just shoving them into live action properties for the sake of what I'm guessing was a decision made by a marketing algorithm deep in the Disney fucking mainframe. Have I watched Westworld? I have some opinions on Westworld. Few of them good. So, you know, if you would like to hear them, you're welcome to. I say few of them good, because some of them are good opinions. I know, right? That's fucking unheard of. Ah, The Leftovers. God, I love that show. Oh, Leftovers is so good. You keep making me feel like going back and rewatching The Leftovers every time you mention that you're watching it. That might wind up happening. Oopsies. Oh well. He'll live. But yeah, if you want to hear a grown man whine and bitch about a fucking HBO robot show, I'm more than happy to do that for you. I will say that Westworld Season 1 was really good. I don't think anybody would, can, or should argue with that. Westworld Season 1 was really, really good, and it was a lot of fun to watch. It had its own set of issues, but none of those issues were really that important. I say not important because the show was not about those things. Like, I can sit here and go, the military tactics in Season 1 were bad, but there weren't many of them, and the show was not about security guards, you know? Yeah, don't waste your volts on that one. Sex robot show, yeah. I thought Season 2 was a convoluted fucking mess. Season 2 of Westworld lost me so fast, you guys. I think I quit watching after the Samurai World episode.
Yo, I heard you liked Battlemechs.
It's true,
so
I do.
Put a Battlemech in your Battlemech, and
You
now
did?
Thunderhead's 3D printer is broken.
Oh god, no! Alright, we're coming along. Slow work up the leg. Hoping that this wash is going to save some of my sloppy painting. Yeah, Season 2 was painful. It was painful to watch. It was bad. It was really bad. It was convoluted because Season 1 presented itself in that disjointed, out of chronological order sort of way. But Season 1 presented itself that way for a fucking reason, and the payoff was very much worth it. Season 2 did not. As far as I can tell, Season 2 was convoluted because Season 1 was convoluted, and they were like, oh shit, we gotta trick the viewers, because that's what they're watching for. I don't feel like there was meant to be a Season 2 of Westworld. I felt like the story of Season 1 was self-contained, and it ended, but the show was popular, and it made money, so someone went, oh, fuck, we better write more. And that's what we have now, is just somebody going, oh shit, we need to make more money, let's write something about robots real quick. And that's just not worth it to me. Okay, I should clarify. That's not worth it to me unless the robots are punching the shit out of each other. In which case, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit about your story. Just give me the robots. Alright, Pretzel, what the fuck are you doing? What is this? What am I listening to? Sometimes it takes me a minute to realize that it started playing something terrible. Here's the thing, Pawnburn. I'm not going to say I don't believe you, because you are repeating to me what you read. I'm going to say I don't believe them. When the writers of Westworld say, we planned out 5 seasons. Lies. Lies, bullshit, nonsense. They fucking did not. That is bullshit. Because Season 2 was a confused, garbled, meandering mess. I don't believe it. I could be wrong. Maybe they did. Maybe they wrote a really shitty second season on purpose. Maybe. I don't believe them. They have no reason not to lie to us, and that, my friend, is a fucking lie. I don't believe it for a second. Like, even hearing that makes me want to laugh. Does he, though? Does he? Time will tell. And I realize I say this as someone who's like, Damon Lindelof is the greatest writer ever, and Damon Lindelof gave us Lost. Like, I understand that there's a certain amount of potential hypocrisy to my criticisms. I get that. But I don't believe it. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I'd like to be proven wrong. I don't think I am, though. I don't think I am. I have not seen Person of Interest. I mean, maybe the events of Season 2 of Westworld would have been more palatable to me had they been presented in a way that was not obviously a fucking gimmick. But I didn't get the feeling that Season 2 was planned. I got the feeling that Season 2 was thrown together at the last minute because they realized they could make more money. There's nothing strictly wrong with that, but I'd like them to admit it and not bullshit me is all. I've heard nothing but good things about Person of Interest. I should probably watch it. Oh, that was J. Michael Straczynski. Didn't he do Babylon 5? Because if that's the case, then, I mean, anything that he wrote, yeah, I believe he planned it out well ahead of time, but I believe it because he is an obsessive nerd and he can't help but do things that way. Yeah. See, I buy that. You want another unpopular opinion loosely associated with Westworld? gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you before I give it, because it's probably gonna be an unpopular opinion. But if you want to hear it, I'll give it. It's gonna be a quick one. It's gonna be like a one sentence. No, maybe not one sentence. I'll probably have a few sentences. You wanna hear it? Do you? Do you really? So, I'm going to say exactly what you just said, Roland, but I'm going to say it in a different way, in a different context, meaning something different, but in a weird way, still the same thing. And that is that Evan Rachel Wood is kind of a dumbass. I don't know if you guys pay any attention to who she is, or what she's done in the past, or like her relationship with Marilyn Manson, or her activities on social media, but kind of a fucking dipshit. Like a real dumb, attention-seeking person who thrives, just thrives, on like controversial social media postings, but isn't very good at it. Well, I don't like that phrase, Roland. I think that phrase is misused and not accurate most of the time. And besides that, I don't think it really describes her, because she's not even like a new wave feminist. She's just a dumbass. Just a self-important rube of a person who condescends to her own fans constantly. And who like made up some bullshit, ridiculous abuse stories about fucking Marilyn Manson to get like attention. In the era when people were like, oh my god, guys, did you hear? Did you hear Marilyn Manson had 2 of his ribs taken out so he could suck his own dick? Like, you remember those fucking rumors. They were dumb as shit. And she came out of her relationship with him and was like, oh, he was sexually abusive. And I'm sorry, but if you know anything about Marilyn Manson, if you've read any of his interviews or gotten into any of the in-depth stuff about who he is as a person, I don't believe it. I do not. And she had no proof to back it up. She just rode this wave of popularity trying to make herself into a victim, and then like petered out after a while when nobody was buying it. That's just kind of who she is as a person. I mean, when season 2 of, they're not all. Roland, I have to disagree with you on that one. I will say that I understand where you're coming from, and I don't want to harp on the subject because it's a controversial one, and that's not what we're here for. The last thing we're here for is controversy. I will say, though, that I disagree with your characterization of the movement in general. I think that these are phrases that get lumped around a lot because of individuals and not really because of movements. And movements often suffer because dumbasses subscribe to them. But that's my opinion on Evan Rachel Wood. She herself, personally, is a dumbass and an attention seeker. And I just have no fucking patience for her. Like, guys, I am... I don't want to get into my belief on social problems, because that's not what you're here for. Nobody cares what the hell I believe on social problems. You guys care what I believe about robots. You know? That's what matters. But, she's a leech. She's a leech of a person, and any movement she associates herself with is cheapened by her association. I think we could all agree on. Well, at least I could agree with myself on that, and really that's what matters at the end of the day. You know, part of the wonderful thing about giant robots is that they bring us together. Roland, I might have to refund you on that one, man. I can't do that. I don't, even if I wanted to make that argument, like, I don't have one ready. It's, I mean, first of all, it's insane. But besides being insane, I don't even think I can bullshit my way through that subject, which I'll admit, is something. I pride myself on my ability to bullshit my way through subjects I'm not familiar with. Or don't really have an argument on. I consider that one of my best skills. Now, if you want to hear some reasons that the Free Worlds League is the best faction, I mean, I can give you those. What? What? We're not playing that. We're not ripping on Merrick. Not in this stream. You can go over to Chaotic Harmony stream and be like, fucking Merrick, fucking House Merrick, what the fuck is their deal? But I'm not having it. We're not doing that today. Merrick is relevant. How? Go. Well, I mean, that's kind of the strength of Merrick, is that everybody else is so worried about their relevancy, and Merrick is largely fighting little self-contained mini proxy wars, and remaining financially viable when entire other houses are collapsing in on themselves under the weight of their ambitions. Merrick has great ambitions, but those ambitions are divided such that they never fully crush them. And every now and then they go over and they poke Steiner in the eye, and who doesn't love that? Man, my hand is so shaky today, I don't know what's up with me. That, and you only think that Safe is ineffective because Safe wants you to think they're ineffective. You don't know how effective they are. And that's the point. Safe knows all. Safe sees all. Safe has their hands in every decision across the galaxy, and you don't even know it. If you knew it, they wouldn't be doing their jobs. Oh god, what have I done? I think Merrick is relevant by virtue of always being its own self-contained conflict generator.
I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint
I
on
will.
anywhere. It's not like
Apparently,
we're trying
yes.
to get inside
All right.
the lines or anything.
Alright, I'll give you that was an appropriate use. That was an appropriate use of glorb. I can't complain about that one. I don't feel like you got a good targeted rant out of me on that one. I'm going to refund you your volts. Because, I don't feel like I have fulfilled my obligations. And you'll get to spend that on something else stupid. You taking off, Hethrier? Well, thanks for hanging out, man. It's always good to see you. TMI. Alright, but 3145 doesn't count. Fuck. Damn it. I mean, we'll see where Catalyst takes the timeline, but yeah, okay. In recent BattleTech timelines, it's not like House Merrick is doing particularly well. Can't argue with that. Well, can, but won't. Should, maybe, but shorn't. That's a bit too much for me. Okay, apparently that is just color fast immediately for some reason. Well, that's all a matter of perspective, Roland. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell is up with Pretzel. How do you paint external cabling? That depends on what colors are around it, Mortal. And what look I'm going for. A lot of the time for external cabling, I'll use fairly standard undercarriage colors. Sometimes I'll do something wild, paint them a primary color like a red or a green or maybe like a muted yellow. if you use metallics, I always think metallics are a good choice for external cabling. Do them in metallic and then put like a greasy color over top of them, like Vallejo Smoke. Oh my, my eyeball. That's like the 4th time that's happened. Oh, yes. That particular marriage. But see, liking the Free Worlds League isn't just about liking House Merrick. House Merrick is certainly the most prominent of the various houses, but the Free Worlds League, I feel, has a much greater focus on lesser houses than many of the other major factions do. The Free Worlds League is strengthened by its diversity, and its constant infighting, and its constant undermining of each other's economic policies. It's like a libertarian's dream, basically. Leafback, my undercarriage colors tend towards... This is what I'm talking about. This sort of blue-gray, black/coal black. But again, it depends on what colors I'm actually using. You want something that contrasts a bit. Well, I mean, I don't know. What external cabling are you talking about, out of curiosity? What model? If you post a picture of what you're painting up, we could take a look and let you know. I should not be a narrator for Battletech lore. That is the opposite of what I should be. Yeah, Leafback, any color that you choose should be chosen based on the colors you're already using. Generally. Unless you're just starting off on the figure and you're choosing primary colors. But it helps to have a palette that you go to for on a model. Complementary colors, a couple of contrasting colors. Wow, this leg is not turning out well at all. But that is entirely my fault. What's this problem that you have with the Kickstarter? Yeah, Tex Talks Battletech does all the Battletech lore talking that anybody should ever need. And frankly, he does a lot more research on it and probably cares a lot more about it than I do, so he can continue doing that to his heart's content. It's not to say I don't care about Battletech lore. I do to a degree. To a degree. To the degree that it gets me playing with purple Orions, you know? That's all that matters. I'm definitely going to put a wash over this part of the leg because it's not coming out how I had planned. So, commenting sheerly on the quality of the figure, though, I like the details on this Sierra. They're all big and chunky enough that they're not hard to get to, even if I sometimes mess them up anyway. They're well sculpted. All the figures that I've gotten from Revelations have been really quite nice. We had a little bit of a trouble with the Mars battle tank, but that was that's like there's a manifold issue in the actual mesh. There's a seam right down the middle of it that is not manifold, and it is I mean, that's just a technical error. That's in no way a criticism of the quality of it. Pondburn joined Clan Thunderskunk. Ooh, our roster is growing. Now it's time for you to paint a real battle mech. Alright. Alright. Oh, Coral and Pondburn. You guys are gonna be... You know what? We'll get you guys going. I'll set a date for next week to do a little bit of Thunderskunk. And, I don't mean to bump you guys ahead of the Storm Chasers Merc Company, but I'm gonna do it because, you know what? I talk a lot of shit about the clans. I do. I talk a great deal of shit about the clans. Not all of it's earned. In fact, very little of it's earned. I just don't like them. And, I feel that I should, you know, pay that back a little bit. I should put my money where my mouth is and paint some clan mechs. Because... damn it. The Inner Sphere can paint clan mechs better than the damn clanners can. We can paint anything better. I'm gonna get you going here pretty soon also, Vergaderung. I'm working on that arm for your awesome right now. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to get done. But your awesome is gonna get painted up. I'm gonna have a little bit more of a painting schedule coming up here pretty soon because I've had a lot of people redeeming some painting stuff, and I don't want to leave you guys hanging too long. Like, a lot of my painting is based on what I feel like doing, but I don't want to leave you guys hanging too long after I've agreed to paint your mechs. So we're going to establish a little bit of a schedule, and also so that you know when I'm working on something of yours. You know, I don't want to be working on Vergaderung's mech and not have him here to see it. That's no fun. Of course, he's here pretty much every time, so I'm probably not at much risk of that. But, yeah, we get a little schedule put together. Exactly. The longer I wait, the bigger it's going to get, so I shouldn't wait any longer. And there are a couple of printing imperfections here that are entirely the fault of my hasty cleanup. Very, very hasty. Leaf back. I do. Though only when it's funny. I'm like Roger Rabbit in that way. In this case specifically, only when they redeem 25,000 volts to join the Storm Chasers or Thunderskunks. Which we now have 2 Storm Chasers and 2 Thunderskunks, so I better get to work. First thing you should, do the 2 testers. I will, in fact, I think probably, because I'm going to try to get this guy finished, either before the next stream or on the next stream. And once that's done, my Battletech log is cleared for Thunderskunk and the Storm Chasers. I really just want to finish the goddamn Rampart Company, you guys. I've been working on it for months, and it's just going slow. And I just want to put a lid on it, you know? Clan Thunderskunk prides itself on using second-line mechs and beating the stink out of Freebird scum. Oh, Lord. 3 Storm Chasers. You are absolutely correct. What's up, guy? How you doing? You can pressure me if you want, Verg. You redeemed the points, man. You sat here watching my ass babble about things I don't like long enough to get those points. You're going to get your points worth out. Oh, there goes my eyeball again. What is happening? I don't know, but it's upsetting and painful. I just want to try something. Hang on, I want to do his thigh. And then I want to try doing a little bit of a thin down black wash on one of his toes, just so I get a little preview of what it's going to look like. You gotta remember to blink like a real human would. Human.exe has stopped. Get a little bit more of my wolf gray going. bit down here. Don't want to overdo it on this leg because it's mostly in the shadow of his arm. I'll just make a big splop there. That's no big deal.
There's something about Canopian catgirls that give me that warm, fuzzy feeling.
Something.
Maybe it's just my allergies.
Something. And there's another place where my support didn't come off cleanly. Again, these are... Man, I threw these prints together so fast. And they're first runs. Like, I'm a little impressed that they came out at all, considering how quickly I did them. I was fully prepared for these ones to be a wash and have to start another round and paint different ones, but it was good enough. These are... I can work with this. I'm going to try one thing real quick on the purple. Specifically, a little highlighting with this here Reaper Runic purple. Totally not why I chose a planet with an Omnimac planet as our homeworld. Let's see what this does. Ooh, yeah. That doesn't appear to be showing up on camera very much. It's a subtle difference in the purple. But I like it. But I like it. Do a little thicker, you'll be able to see it. Highlighting up through these colors, followed by a purple wash, I think will give me a nice purple stripe down the side, which is really what I'm after. And since I didn't get a gradient out of my airbrush, I'm going to have to kind of fudge it by hand. My purple really doesn't show up on camera, like at all. It's there, I'm telling you. Alright, Pez Motion, thanks for coming in, man. Much appreciated. Always like having you. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, feel free to. We're bullshitting pretty much all the time over there. Yeah, this is going to look pretty good, I think. You can see it? Well, I'm glad somebody can see it other than me. Admittedly, the monitor that I have my camera feed on over here, like, it's never accurate. It is an old, shitty monitor that I just happen to have lying around extra. And I'm going to take these highlights brighter, but this is just me sort of establishing some edges. The thing with these painted lines is you always got to go in and clean them up. And I definitely want this purple to be a little bit more vivid than it is. Yeah. I'm going to try throwing down a little bit of super thin down black wash, and I'm going to let it sit because I want to see what that's going to do to this basic gray that I'm putting down. It's all a little washed out. I'm glad you guys can see it. Good detail on a 26, or good deal, rather, on a 26-inch curved monitor. Ooh. Curved monitors, man, that's some shit. Shit in a good way. Good shit. The dog's bollocks, if you will. I never understood that phrase. I mean, I'm not British, so I probably shouldn't fully understand the phrase. It's their fucking slang, and slang is slang, and it means what it means, but I don't understand how saying something is bollocks is bad, but saying it's the dog's bollocks is good. Like, what the fuck? happened there? What color do you use for your primer? I use almost exclusively black primer, Pyre. And then I'll usually work up some base coats, or not base coats, some shading on top of that using, excuse me, zenithal highlighting techniques with an airbrush. Usually, not all the time. Oh yeah, that helps a lot, huh? I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I just wanted to make sure that once I black washed afterwards, it was gonna come together the way I wanted, and yes, I think it is going to. That is quite nice. I mean, I guess that does kind of make sense, O'Coral. It's just like, I don't know, saying something is the shit versus something is shit is more subtle than saying something is bollocks versus the dog's bollocks, and you're literally saying something is the dog's genitals, and I'm like, that phrase makes me uncomfortable. And, like, I don't know. I don't get it. But I don't think I'm supposed to, you know? Slang is weird. I don't understand the hype with curved monitors either, Cat, but I also haven't used any of them. And I feel like that would be the trick, is using one is probably when you're like, oh yeah. Because I didn't understand the hype of even multiple well, okay, I mean, you understand how having multiple monitors could be cool, but until I started using multiple monitors, I didn't understand the sentiment of, I can never go back. I'm like, come on, it's one monitor, it's still usable. I can never go back. I absolutely cannot. Having multiple monitors is now a necessity for me. Yeah, that should look good when I get it done. I'm gonna have to clean this stripe up because it got... Man, putting stripes on angled surfaces is always tricky, but yeah, that's gonna take some cleanup. Alright, this leg has convinced me. I was not totally sold on this paint job until I did this little bit of wash here and this little bit of purple here, but I think I carried this through to the rest of the model and it's gonna look real nice. Real nice indeed. I have 6 monitors and want more. You are out of your mind, Downslide. By the way, how's it going? Good to see you. It's true, Sentient. It does. I'm not going to get lost too much in the details on this figure. I've got more Sierras to paint. I do appreciate that most of the hard edges on this figure, because of the way it's designed and built with these big triangles, are pretty easy to get to with the edge of your brush. I appreciate that about this model design. It's not a difficult mech to paint by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, that's just going to make it even more embarrassing when I fuck it up. This model's easy to paint, Glorb. Oh, shit. There. That works reasonably well. Yeah, it's not bad for one swipe of the brush. Yeah, that's my Telegram is dinging at me. I thought I turned off the damn notifications. That's just my messenger. Sorry about that. I think I'm having a stroke. No, you're not having a stroke, O'Coral. It's okay. Oh, there goes my eyeball again. Maybe I am having a stroke. Maybe that's what's going on. Well, Coral might not be, but I might be. So I asked Rick Graham about the fact that these mechs have no cockpit glass. I'm like, where do they see out of? And apparently these little nubs, these little balls, are meant to be sensor clusters. So I'm probably going to do something special for them. Like a lens effect or something like that. I actually like that. The pilot is completely sealed inside an armored compartment, and he sees using a network of sensors. That makes a decent amount of sense. Sensors make sense. Oh, God. Hey, baby. Nice nodules. Printer's done. Oh, the printer's been done for a while. Shit. Thanks, Roland. I'm gonna swap that real quick. Had the baby today. Just got home a little bit ago and decided to hang out. Shit, man. Congratulations. It's fucking awesome. I hope everything went well, though based on the fact that you're hanging out in a painting stream right now, I'm gonna guess the answer's yet, dude. Tonight may get a little bit truncated. I'm just gonna alert you guys a little bit in advance. Mostly because this eyeball thing keeps happening to me, and it's really quite distracting and irritating, and I probably do need to take a very close look inside my eye to make sure that there isn't something that's like rolling over into it periodically, which is pretty lame. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an alert ahead of time. Probably aiming for 3.5 hours tonight, but I'll be back Thursday. And here shortly, we're going to be getting started on... Actually, you know what we're going to do Thursday? I think on Thursday we'll have some testers for either Thunderskunk or the Storm Chasers. Because I gotta start one of them. And we might as well get started sooner rather than later, you know? Why is there hair? It's one of my hairs. Good lord. Oh god, guys, I'm losing my hair! Yes, thank you, Verg. Work in progress in Discord. Speaking of which, I think I'll probably transition over to the stream review here in a little bit. It's called Getting Old. Dude, fucking tell me about it. The number of gray hairs that I find in my beard these days, it's getting to be out of control. Nothing like getting paid to paint, you know, Tasselhoff. There are worse ways to spend your time. That is absolutely the truth. I'm going to define this line a little bit more straight down. Take some of this purple out of it because it got off at an angle. It's not my best stripe. It really isn't. But man, I literally painted this purple stripe on like 10 minutes before the stream started. I rushed it. So I'll clean it up by hand. It'll still look good once I get some shading put in. First white hairs appeared in your eyebrow, of all places. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, but Cat, when your hair goes white, you're just gonna look fucking distinguished and cool. I'm just gonna look old. Thank you, Cat. Oops. Oh well. Oops. Oh well. I shouldn't have that many mistakes that close to one another. Well, it's coming together at any rate. What number brush am I using for the edges? Mighty Jose, this is a Winsor & Newton 0. And I believe it's just... Oh, this is a miniature. I bought the miniature on accident. I actually like their just standard round better. Well, no, that's not true. I didn't buy the miniature on accident. I bought this miniature thinking, I wonder if this is better. And the answer for me was no. Yeah, I want to narrow this down. Oh, shaky line. Oh well. Oh well. Absolutely, Mighty Jose, anytime. Yeah, anybody, if you ever have any questions about something I'm working on, or a part that I'm using, or a tool that I'm using, please feel free to ask. I love being able to share things that help hit. There goes my fucking eyeball again. That's really distracting. Ah. Holy shit. Oh my god. Woo! Exciting. So I wasn't totally sure about my color scheme, but I think by now I'm pretty pleased with it. With some cleanup and some deepening of the purple, I think this is going to look really good. Also bearing in mind what I'm planning to do with the base on this guy, because these guys go on these big old 50mm bases. I'm going to do like a Martian red desert kind of a thing. I'm thinking red, like orange-red dirt. I want to do rocks that are kind of like an obsidian black, and then have, you know, this white and purple mech in the middle of a red field with red dust coming up on the legs and feet. I think that's going to look cool. Have I considered removing it? My eye? Yes. Oh, Coral. These are the water washable resin, as opposed to the non-water washable IPA and acetone requiring resin. I will never fucking go back. I have used the water washable resin for 3 minis so far. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. Now, okay, if you haven't used the water washable resin yet, important safety tip, it's tempting to think, oh, I can just rinse this off in the sink. Don't do that. Do not wash the resin down into your drain, into the sewer system, into your septic tank, into whatever system you have. That is a very poor idea. It is still toxic. You still don't want to get it on your skin. You still don't want to ingest it. You still don't want it in your eyes, which... No, I didn't get any in my eye. This is not resin poisoning. Okay. What you want to do is you want to take a container full of water and dunk it in there and shake it around, and then pull the mini out, and then take that water and set it out in the sun. So the resin that is in the water will settle to the bottom, and then it'll cure solid, and then it's pretty much inert and safe at that point. But don't wash it down the sink. I have seen, I don't know how many people being like, oh, the water washable resin's amazing. Look, I just run it under the sink. Don't do that. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Alright, I'm going to take a break from the Sierra for just a minute. I want to do the bases for these two Rampart Company mechs real quick. I want to do a little bit of dry brushing, a black wash, and then I'm going to glue them down. Glue them down, and I'm going to dry brush them with a little bit of Citadel Dry Eldar Flesh. I don't think I'm... Could I? Is that possible that I'm having this eye twinge as a reaction to the resin? That would be disturbing. I did say I will never go back to regular resin. I don't even care if it's poisoning me. Maybe I'm dying from water-washable resin right fucking now, and I still refuse to go back. That's how good it is, you guys. Masterful edge work. Well, you're just lying. But it's a nice lie, and I appreciate that, Colonel Matthew Steiner. I need more practice on these minis. Ooh, I want to see that, the Union Goblin. Colonel Matthew Steiner, please post that in the Discord. I want to see that. I do not have the fucking corona. God damn it. I did. I just answered you. I just did, Cat. I always answer you. Come on. It has been just today. I don't see how that could honestly be a response to the resin. I didn't get it in my eyeball. I've handled enough resin to know when I've got it in my eye. Plus, I feel like the reaction would have been much quicker. I'm not saying it's impossible. Fumes? I can't imagine I was exposed to that much of the fumes, but okay. You know, I will allow for the fact that one should always be careful when handling resins and toxic chemicals of any kind, and it is possible. If it goes away, I'll probably blame it on the resin, and then I'll be more careful when handling it. My dry compound is a little dry, what do you know? Muscular reactions usually a lack of something. I could need to eat something. I have had more than cold coffee sludge. Have I eaten today? I had a bowl of soup. I ate a bowl of soup. Aha! Victory, I have eaten food. Well, that's pretty decent. Yeah, probably my hands are shaky because I haven't had enough protein today. Guys, I've managed to go this whole stream without complaining about the state of the world. I'll just be honest with you, I'm stressed out. Like I was saying earlier, I'm pretty insulated and I'm pretty stressed. I can only imagine how a lot of you guys are. So thank you, each and every one of you, for joining me for some de-stressing. Because honestly, like, I'm in a better mood right now than I was when I fired up the stream. I was not in a good place mentally. And just hanging out with you guys and bullshitting and doing some painting, I already feel better. I really do. I appreciate you guys being here. Well, that's how you know something's wrong with me, is that I haven't been talking constantly about Willem Dafoe's gigantic penis. By the way, if any of you here in the stream heard what I just said and thought, what the fuck? Legitimately, I guess during the shooting of Antichrist, with, who did that? That was Lars von Trier, who did Antichrist. With Willem Dafoe, there was a scene where he had to have his schlong out, and I guess the sheer, like, size and breadth of it just made people so profoundly uncomfortable that they felt like it was detracting from the scene, like the emotional weight of the scene was being lost in the fact that Willem Dafoe sports a thigh slap and lap hug, so they made a prosthetic smaller penis, which, don't ask me about the logistics of such a thing. I guess they put on him for the scene. So when you watch that movie and you're like, oh, look, Willem Dafoe's, you know, hanging dong. Technically, he isn't. Technically, you are seeing a prosthetic. I cannot confirm if that is actually true or not. It does reek of one of those Hollywood rumors that's, like, based mostly in bullshit. I don't even care. It's amazing. I'm sorry to hear that, Sentient Pickle. I hope you hear all the best, man. Keep yourself safe. Follow the advice of medical professionals. Take care of everybody around you, man, and hopefully you hear the absolute best. Hopefully it's just a little bit of the flu or something, man. I'm glad you think so, Verg. Yeah, this is my de-stress right now. This absolutely is. Yeah, he probably had to do the tuck. He probably had to do the tuck for that. No, now Leafback... I don't think it's as ridiculous as the 2 ribs thing, because the 2 ribs thing is, like, obviously nonsense. Nobody fucking does that. But Willem Dafoe having an uncomfortably large schlong, that could be real. That smacks of a certain... What did Stephen Colbert call it? It has a certain truthiness to it. Maybe it's that, like Fox Mulder, I want to believe. You know, maybe I need a poster of a naked Willem Dafoe on my wall so everyone who comes into the room knows. You know, never mind, I don't need that. As I say that out loud, I realize that's a questionable concept. Yeah, it's way better safe than sorry, Sentient. And again, I hope you hear good things, man. Seriously. You have my active thoughts and well wishes are with you right now. I am not a praying man. Nor am I a praying mantis. But, you have my thoughts. In fact, each and every one of you, I hope that everything goes well for you in the coming days. I think we do a lot for each other right here. I really do, kind of keeping each other sane, keeping ourselves focused on things other than the bullshit that we can't change. You know? Weirdest looking praying mantis in the world. Grasshopper and a cicada, why no mantis mech? You know what we need is a mech that looks like Danny DeVito, and we can call it Mantis Toboggan. That's gonna be the next journey I send you guys on, is when I start getting all the It's Always Sunny clips and memes in here. Yeah, a little bit more blackwash in this. There's a Solaris Mantis. Oh, okay, fine. I don't think Solaris really counts, though. That's like saying there have been, you know, predictive, hypercomputer, semi-sentient mechs. Like, yeah, there was one in Solaris using some crazy neural interface, and then it was gone, because Solaris is where the writers go to just spew bullshit into the universe. Maybe that's a little... It's the pup. It's the puppy. What's up, Puppo? Winnie, go to your pillow. Oh, you want me to say hi? That's okay. I can say hi. I can say hi. Yeah, Sentient, that really bothers the shit out of me. Like, when you said that you went through all your maps and you're missing one map from, like, the first set, my collector's itch just started going off. Like, I don't even have them. But it's like a sympathetic reaction. Upper cam. Gwynny, you want to go on the camera? You want to say hi to the peoples? What was that? I think that might have been a yes. Gwynny, come here. Come here, baby. Come here, you poopums. Oh, she's the poopums. Gwynny's the poo-poo. Gwynny's the poopy puppy. It was very yes-like. Oh, don't roll over my own cables. That would be foolish. Hey. Say hi, Gwynny. Say hi to everybody. They're all looking at you. You don't know what a camera is. You don't know how to look into it because you don't know what it is. Oh, you see the little picture up there? It's you. There's a puppy on the screen. There's a puppy on the screen, and it's you with your spooky eyes. Yes. She's glad to be in. Ooh, she's a little chilly. Glad to be inside. She's had a busy day running one way, and then she ran another way, and then she ran back the first way, and then she ran in a circle. Oh, yes, and then she tackled the other puppies. Didn't you? Queenie's a bit of a bully, you guys. She gets out there and she just beats the Christ out of the other dogs in the yard. It's kind of absurd. Like, she's this big-time sweetie, but with other dogs during playtime, she becomes a fucking cruise missile. Mwah. Go to your pillow. Go to your pillow, Gwynnie. Hang on, let me get off of my own cord here. Oh. Man. If I had boobies, that shot right there would have gotten me like 6 follows. Thank you, Kat. That's actually a very good point. Yes, new glove. Well, I'm not gonna do glove because I'm not gonna do enough to require one right now. But thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna get these mechs glued down, and I can do that without it. Let's see. You're gonna go on approximately like that. I might get some more black wash, honestly. It's not darkening as much as I hoped for, but I can do that in a minute. You be quiet. You go to your pillow and you lie down and you take a fucking nap, because that's what you need. Up. Nope. Stop. What? How the... Can't pull my headphones off, dog. That's not how you get attention. Gwynnie, go to your pillow. Gwynnie, go. Lay down. Lay down. All the way. Gwynnie, down. Yeah, that's right. You fucking listen. Oh. No, it's just true. I am thick of gut and neck. People always say, oh, you got such a nice beard. This beard is entirely to cover the extra chins. Gwynnie, why are you being a pill? If you're going to be like this, I'm not going to let you hang around. And then the people on the Twitch are going to be sad. They're going to be like, no, Pop. Because they like you for some reason. I don't know why. Gwynnie's a good pup. She really is. She has an amazing temperament. Alright, so I had some markings here to determine where the toes are supposed to go. So, I think. Oh, nope. I'm a little bit off. I'm a little bit off. Let me fix it before it sets. Oh, God. Okay. There it is. What is this random bit of debris? Get off of it. I'm going to darken those craters up a little bit more too, I think. But there is generally your Palandria based. You need to darken the craters, do a little bit of cleanup, pull that hair off, and then get a matte clear coat down to take down some of the shine. I think Palandria came out pretty nice though. It's a good looking mech. Yeah, it came out really, really quite well. I'm glad I took it more towards the sort of pale lilac instead of like a magenta. What does who want for what? What's going on? What's even happening? Who am I? Alright, I want you facing like so. Monsieur Thunderbolt. I think Kontos came out pretty nice. After I kind of dirtied up that shoulder pad to take a little bit of the shock off of the blue of the shoulder. He's obviously been through some shit. He's got a lot of surface rust kicking. I don't know, maybe they've been fighting on like a saltwater planet or something like that. You'd get pretty rusty in those circumstances. Not the flesh color I was hoping for. Yeah. Until I'm painting an actual dildo, I don't think you're gonna be happy, Penis Land Warrior. Puppy, you are in a mood today. You are cruising for a not a bruising. I don't even want to say that. Like even the concept of that makes me cringe. I'm like, oh puppy. No one should ever bruise you, puppy. You're too sweet. You're cruising for a snoozing. Yeah, I think it really helps. It's still painfully blue, but with the rust on it, I feel like it comes together a little bit more. I don't want to do a touch more black wash on these craters because they're just not quite where I want them to be yet. Yeah, puppy, I hear you. You know, yeah, I'll be with you in just a few, pup. I'm gonna be going to review here shortly anyway. What do you say, guys? You wanna hit the review thread? You guys been posting pictures? You got some good stuff for me to look at? You better. You better. Or else this whole thing is over. No. Yeah, no, I've been doing it. What I was just doing there was very much off camera. It was just because of the angle. But what I just got done was gluing down the last two mechs that we got painted, Palandria and Kovas, to their respective little blasted battlefield bases. We're getting these guys cleaned up a little bit, and then a matte clear coat put down, and I will get some pictures, some proper pictures taken of them. Put up on the Discord, on the Facebook, on Instagram, on just all this stupid social media shit that I'm using. What's even happening? All this social media. It's craziness. It's madness. I also, just to recap, we started off working on this guy today, this Griffin, the last of the mechs for Rampart Company. He looks like shit right now, but he's got a lot of drying retarder mixed into his paint, so everything's a little shiny. That's going to go away once I actually get it matte clear coated. But we got the basic colors blocked out, which I think was the most important thing to do. He's going to be an interesting looking mech when we're done with him. He's going to be colorful, to say the least. But the green, you can't see it as well on the camera, or maybe you can. Maybe I'm getting an inaccurate read, but the green on the cockpit glass, I think, really kind of brings the whole look together. It really is. It is a very cool sculpt. It looks like a GM mobile suit because it's painted like the fucking Power GM from Mobile Suit Gundam. It's secured to the cork by, if you look, can you see the pin? You might not be able to see the pin. He has a pin in both feet going down into the cork, so he's very secure. And the other thing that we worked on, and I'm giving you the recap, Penis Land. Penis Land Warrior.
I never thought that I would say this. But I'm glad to see you. Very glad.
We also worked on this Revelations Warmech, which is a new game that is on Kickstarter right now. It's played in 12mm scale, and the creator has added in tiers for digital distribution for the model. So this is a model that I printed at home for this war game. It's very exciting, at least for me. I hope it's exciting for you. I'd love to know what you guys think of this game so far. If you want to talk about it on the Discord, I mean, I encourage it because it's something I'm going to be playing a decent amount of in the coming days. But I want to get this basic starter force painted up and do some bat reps, some battle reports to give to you fine gentlemen so that you can get a better feel for the game and how it plays before you make a decision. At least that's my plan. We made a little bit of progress on his legs, a little bit of a couple of decisions for the purple highlights. And, yeah, I'm going to work some more on this guy off stream, and then probably I'll have a little bit more Revelations painting going on Thursday, and then again on Tuesday I should be digging into either a tank or some infantry. But I'll be posting a lot about this, so if you have any questions about Revelations, I mean, put them on the Discord, man. Rick Graham, the designer, is on there. And if you have any questions about the models, about how they print, about how they put together, can I do this with it, can I do that with it, please ask me, because I am more than happy to play around with that. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, Shake is here. I don't even know what we're going to do about that. What's up, Shake? Multicolor adds to the story of the mech. Frankenstein from 20 different mechs. Yeah. This is a treasure! It's always a pleasure to have you, Shake. You got us kind of in the wind down. But I'm going to go over to Discord here, and we're going to have a look. Ah, my eyeball just did it again. I'm gonna wash my eye out with something just in case, because this has really been... It has really been something, you guys. Stream review. We had one in here from earlier. That, Aonaranak. I read this name constantly, and I've never tried to pronounce it. Aonaranak. Posted last time. Wanted to post in the last stream. Oh! This looks like a Clicky Tech vehicle that he's repainting from MechWarrior Dark Age. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it is. Sniper artillery. It's a short tom. That's pretty neat. I like those color choices. Red and black, though. I like red and black. Red and black is, you know what always makes me think of is the Brotherhood of Nod, which, that's an easy yes for me. Easy yes. And then we have, starting today, Colonel Matthew Steiner. Here we see he is also working on figures, some of the ones that I do not have, for Revelations. This is another faction, the Union of Stars Brigand tank, which is an interesting design to it, with sort of a light triple-barreled turret and a missile launcher on it. And then we have the Union of Stars Goblin Warmech, which I think would be the one that you would kind of match up... Oh god, my shoulders. Opposite the one that I was painting. So for their faction, the Goblin is equivalent roughly to the Sierra. It has different weapons, a different level of toughness, because it's all asymmetrically balanced. But this would be the counterpart. And this, okay, here's the Mars tank. This is the one I haven't been able to get printed yet for myself, but I should be working on this in one of the next streams. And this is another one for the faction that I'm painting that I don't have access to yet. We got a surprising number of streamers painting Revelations right now, though, and that's cool. Ooh, Kursala. You are working on an Orion, and that is very interesting to me. It looks like you're taking parts from the MWO1 and then modifying the cockpit to be more like the new CGL sculpt. That's what I'm getting from this. I don't know if Kursala's in the chat right now. From God to Cain to Seth. Yeah, there we go. God to Cain to Thunderhead. I don't know if I like that, because that means I'm gonna get executed by Kane in like the third cutscene, though. I'm not really comfortable with that. This is really cool, though. Kursala, I don't know if you're in chat right now, but this is neat. I like what you're doing here. I look forward to seeing the rest of it. Oh, Coral has been working on this gold dragon, and I think you said this was the Reaper or the Scale 75. I can't remember. It was the NMM gold triad, though, that you're painting this with. And it shows. These are really, really rich yellows. I like the look of that. The wings look uncomfortably fleshy. I think Penis Land Warrior probably would be all about this. Kursala, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, Reaper NMM. Oh, Coral. And Sentient Pickle with some din-dins. Oh, shit, we got some ham and some corn and some fuck, I'm hungry. God damn it. This is stupid. It just, oh, my stomach literally growled as I looked at that. I've got to get something to eat. Ah-ha-ha. And this is from, I believe the doctor once known as Pawn is Steiner Miniatures here on Twitch. Because he is the other one who has been painting some of these Revelations mechs. He did some bullet holes here in the shoulder pad. That's really cool. And I want to say that this is the Core Republic Spade that he's painting that has the chain gun mounted under the arm like this. They have a similar design. You can see it in the shoulder and in the hand and everything, but his right arm has this big old chain gun under it. It doesn't look that bad. The photo looked fine. Did a good job on those bullet holes. That's really coming together nice. That looks good, man. These are the cables that you're talking about, huh? These cables at the elbows, you feel like it needs some color. Huh. So a muted yellow... Oh, okay, now I'm attaching names to other names. Yeah, a muted yellow on those cables might not look bad. Like kind of a desert yellow with a soft or brown or sepia wash, and then touched up again with the yellow, and then maybe just a touch of bright yellow at the very top. Because, I mean, lots of cabling winds up being yellow. You just don't want it to look like lemon or banana yellow. You want it to be a bit more subdued and dirty. I think that would... And it would complement the blue really nicely. That would be my suggestion. Assuming that you're still watching. Downslide, the new mech game that we have been talking about, and I'll come back to this in just a second, that we've been painting, like this figure here, and this figure from Steiner up here, the Goblin, and what I've been working on, this Sierra Warmech. These are for Revelations, which you can find on Kickstarter, and I've been posting quite a bit about lately. The Kickstarter has been successful, so if you buy in now, like, they're going to fulfill it. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. I really like the figures. Bushwhacked! With the K2 and the inspiration you used for it. Damn, you got close, man. Yellow is a tricky color. A real tricky color to use, but you use these browns real well. That's real close. That looks good. Not chrome yellow. Don't listen to Kursala. Listen to Kursala when it comes to redesigning the Orion, and when it comes to yellows, just pretend like he's not talking. This looks good. I like this. Yellows are tricky to pull off. The blue cockpit glasses is definitely done as well. Oh, we got a couple more from Colonel Matthew Steiner. These are better shots. These are much better. Damn, that looks good, man. Oh, I like this. With the camo stripes. It's a real subtle camo, but it's effective. And this, again, is the Union of Stars Brigand tank, which has like a triple laser and a launcher on top of it. I haven't looked at the stats for it yet. I like this design, though. That's really cool. I like the look of the Goblin Warmech. He looks like a sassy bitch, and he's got these two weapons coming up over his shoulder. Like the, you know what, it makes me think of the Titans from Titanfall, which immediately makes me like it. I can't wait to get my hands on these Union of Stars figures once I get through the Core Republic ones. Here we have another picture, including the Core Republic. I don't know which mech, what the name of this one is. These are cool, though. Look at that. Dude, the basing job. The basing job you've done on these is fucking intense. Look at those big-ass shells. That's really neat. These are going to look great, man. When you finish this guy, he's going to look amazing. This Goblin already looks good. Kat says the one on the left reminds her of a Pikachu, a Chocobo, and a Songbird. Pikachu-themed chocobo. Oh my god! And then there's... Oh, sentient. That's... Look at that. Look at this rascally little son of a bitch here. He just looks happy to see you. Oh, Puppo. I want to scratch him. You know what I'm going to get him? I'm going to get him right underneath the chin there. Right underneath the scruff. I feel like that would be the spot. You know what I mean? Oh, shot from work. You got a couple of... What's the paint job you put on those choppers out there? I really like that red. Oh, we got some crabs. We got some crabs and one of these hideous-ass clan mechs with the fucking shield on top of its head. I love the redesign of the crab. Like, okay, I'll give MWO a couple of designs, and the crab is definitely one of them. That's just a damn good-looking figure. Oh, and we got some more doggos. We got some more of the doggo tax. Man, these little furry sons of bitches are keeping us probably more sane than anything else in our lives right now. Pondburn, what are their names, man? You still here? Is Pondburn still around? Crab people. Crab people are the fucking problem, man. Crab people or rock monsters or lizard people or, you know, whatever the hell they are. Get stressed, pet a dog or cat. You are not wrong. Them some cute, good-looking you know those puppos? When I look at them, you know what I think? They look dense and heavy. That looks like the kind of dog you want to tackle right there. Oh, lordy lord. Alright. Oh, man. Oh, so I am calling it a little bit early tonight, but I gotta go look at my eyeball and figure out what's going wrong with my brain right now, guys. Streamception, yeah, you get that tunnel effect. Maximus and Maddie. Oh, and Max is the older, blonder gentleman. That's alright. Check your balls. Thanks, Sentient Pickle. I appreciate that. That's sentiment. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Really, I'm in such a better mood right now than I was when I started. Oh, you know what? Onburn, you got a point. You got a point. Hang on, I'm gonna go back once. Boom. Bang. Thunderskunk. You coward. So this is some writing that Pondburn did for us, and I want to take this, and I feel like we can expand on this in a few ways, but I like this. He threw this together during the last stream. But, the mighty clan Thunderskunk from the planet Paxson in the Kerensky cluster, where we have only a few small enclaves, with a major manufacturing plant owned by Clan Diamond Shark that we have slowly crept into and made part of our home. And this is where I feel like we should have a quote from Clan Diamond Shark when being asked why they haven't moved in to kick the Thunderskunks out of their factory, with a remark to the effect of, "Have you smelled them? It's way more trouble than it's worth. Let them have it." Because that's damn near what happened to my shop. Alright. Gained our glorious name by the fact that a group of genetically engineered skunks were released onto the world to see if Terran life could be supported easily. Backfired when the first Con Hudson. Is there like a Bill Paxton reference in there, or am I reading more into this than there is? Anyway, Con Hudson was killed by surprise during a practice infantry battle by a surfeit of Thunderskunks spraying him with their poisonous musk, while he repeatedly screamed that the war game was over. And in that moment, it truly was over, as he collapsed into a pool of screaming goo. This is some silly shit. I'd like to expand on that, though. I think there's a good story in there. Sun tested negative. Sentient, I am... oh my god, man. That was like the one negative feeling I had coming out of the stream. I was like, oh shit, one of my streamers is having a scare with the fucking Rona right now. But man, I am so fucking glad to hear that. Day 312. My teammates still haven't figured out I'm a Labrador. Game over, man. Game over. Yeah, I was thinking maybe. I saw the names there. I saw Hudson. I saw Paxton. I was like, is that a Bill Paxton thing? You know what? If it isn't, let's make it one. I'm all in favor of that being one. Again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I've had a great time. I hope you've had a great time. I hope that this has helped you let off some stress. It helped me let off some stress. We just got some fucking Sakon Hicks. Somebody wake up Sakon Hicks. We got some good news for Sentient Pickle. I know that has me feeling better. You've made my day better, guys. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Moods are fickle damn things. You've helped improve mine. If you have any questions about the Revelations Kickstarter, please post them up on the Discord. Rick Graham, who runs who is in charge of everything Revelations, he's there. He answers questions. He's attentive. He's interested. We're gonna have a number of other streamers getting these mechs done soon. I think it's gonna be a fun game. I'll have some bat reps for you here before long. Yes, we are going to raid. We are going to raid Chaotic. Don't touch that dial. You want some more mech action? My boy Chaotic, his birthday is tomorrow, and he's playing some HBS Battletech, I think all the way up to midnight tonight. So I want you to go over there, and even if you're about to leave... Hudson, sir. He's Hicks. How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit? Anyway, please wish my boy Chaotic Harmony a happy birthday before you leave. That would be a personal favor to me. I'd really appreciate it. I need to remember that I don't have a button to do that over here. That would be handy if I could do it from my tablet, but I can't do that. So I'm going to pull up my dashboard here. Where are you at? Oh, we got Sovereign Miniature Studio painting, but I'm not going to raid him because he talks shit about Battletech, and we don't fucking stand for that shit around here. Alright, guys. I'm sending you over to Chaotic right now. Wish him a happy early birthday for me. I'd appreciate that, because I gotta go look in my stupid eyeball and make sure I'm not being poisoned or something. I will be back Thursday. We will have... I think I'll have this mech done. I'm gonna aim to get started on Clan Thunderskunk Thursday. I think that's gonna be my goal. I can't promise it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try for it. I hope to see you here then. In the meantime, everybody, keep on painting, stay safe, take care of yourself, and your family, and your loved ones, and for the love of God, just... Woosah, you know? Woosah. Center thyself. Everybody have a great few days, and I will see you soon.